Am I on yet? Okay. Hey everyone, it's me, Jen, and I'm nothing if not intense. Let me get. Can you hear me okay? Anybody? Shoot, I have to turn down the volume. Can you hear me? Am I broadcasting? Anybody out there? Hello? Okay. Well, I hope you guys can hear me. So tonight we are going to look at all the stuff regarding 10 and all the BS in the community. And hopefully we can just put this stuff to bed. I know a lot of people have wanted to see emails and all that stuff, and we're going to provide that tonight. I have some pretty good guests here. I have Paladin, everybody knows Paladin, and KL, and Truth Bomb. So we're going to get this started. And Paladin, if you would like to go ahead and go, please be my guest.
Okay, thanks, Nene. Okay, I'm reluctant to
hear anything.
I'm reluctant to do this because this has taken us away from the reason that we're all here. However, because due to circumstances that have been going on for, I don't know, the past few weeks, that it's necessary. So I want to start off by saying that this active soul person first contacted me back in November with a big, long post that they were trying to look like, if anybody follows QAnon, that kind of a post, the big, long, sort of a bunch of thoughts put together. And I think I got 2 or 3 of them before I finally responded. And it became pretty clear, pretty quick, who it was. About halfway through the process, and the process ended, I think, when Soul Server did his video about Justice for Who and Active Soul. But anyway, about halfway through, I get a message from Tropical Blue, and Tropical Blue basically informs me that Active Soul, the Active Soul Proton Mail account, got used up all their memory or storage or whatever. So now it's Tropical Blue, but it's the same person. Now, when I first started corresponding with this person, they knew everything about everybody in the community. And so initially I was confused, and I'm like, who is this person? Who is this person? Because they represented themselves to be someone who is not a creator, who is not a commenter, but yet they had all this information on everybody. Okay. So throughout the course of these 2 or 3 months, whatever it was, it became very clear. And it was really clear early on. I just kept getting confirmation throughout the months or the weeks of correspondence, who this person was. And it was apparent. And the reason it was apparent, one of the reasons it was apparent, is because I talked with this person probably about a year ago. I think twice. I had 2 conversations. There were some things said that sometimes you say in that type of a conversation with someone that you just meet, and you're talking about a common subject. And so you don't go into your background, you don't go into a whole bunch of stuff other than what brought you here. Okay, so this active soul started talking to me about that conversation. In other words, they already knew about that conversation, and they were bringing that up to me, and I never brought it up. So anyway, the situation is that this person already had a conversation with me. Okay, already had information about me that I gave to this other person supposedly, but of course it's the same person. So then as time goes on, this Active Soul and or Tropical Blue, they would send me emails. They would tell me about what other creators were doing. They were telling me about what other creators were, what videos they were going to make, what they were working on. And of course, from the very beginning, this person tried to get information out of me. They tried to get me to do certain videos with certain topics at certain times, and they got frustrated when I wouldn't go along with what they wanted me to do, because I said, I'm going to do this at my own time, at my own speed. Okay. So I don't know. I think it was maybe in December, and this is when this is before we dropped the Liver Mortis. And I told this Active Soul or Tropical Blue, because I don't remember at what point in time that they changed from Active Soul to Tropical Blue. So I'll just say Active Soul, but it could be Tropical Blue, but they were the same person. Our friend that we're talking about tonight did a video. And this Active Soul person was aware, because I told him, I said, well, we're going to come out with a big one. And it was about the Liver Mortis. Well, anyway, our friend that we're going to be talking about tonight, he did a video. And I don't know if anybody remembers this or anybody saw this, but it was a short video. He was drunk and he was sitting at his piano and he was talking about, oh, well, I've got information. I've got a feeling Paladin's going to drop a big bomb. I've got a feeling he's got to drop a big bomb. And he was drunk. I mean, he was drunk off his ass. Well, that video didn't stay up very long. That was basically my confirmation, as if I needed one. Okay, so we fast forward up to when Soul Surfer basically broke this whole thing publicly and talked about Justice for Who being the same person as Active Soul. And Soul Surfer, he had the guts to do this. And this was something that I kind of just played along with this guy. I mean, there would be times when I'd wake up in the morning and check my email, and there would be 10 or 15 emails waiting for me from this person. I mean, it was almost like it was frantic. And of course, I would respond some of them, and I would not respond to every email. Maybe I'd pick 2 or 3 and I'd respond to them short stuff. And in the corresponding of this, I would then learn this person's habits when they got up, when would be the first contact in the morning, and they would be sending me. I mean, I'm East Coast time. They would be sending emails for me 3 or 4 o'clock into the morning. So I figured they were on the West Coast, and so all this stuff basically confirmed what I already knew. So when Soul Surfer came out and had the guts to come out and challenge this person, all the correspondence suddenly stopped from at that point. It was definitely Tropical Blue. All the correspondence stopped. And I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I guess he doesn't want to play anymore. So then I think from that point forward, I think we all saw what has transpired up to this point. And there were some of us that had already looked into this person. We already had a bunch of information. And, we are not here to put it out. We were here to do an investigation on Vegas. But this person seems to be one of the biggest game players I've ever seen. So I looked into his background and I got his information. And, I've been listening to some creators talk this week, and they're defending him. I've also been reading some of the comments, and it's apparent that the majority of the people who are not creators and who have had correspondence with this person, both as he in the identity that he uses that everybody knows, in addition to then the identity that he uses that he thinks nobody knows, which is Active Soul and Tropical Blue and Justice for Who and God knows how many others. All he does is manipulate in the background. Okay, I heard one creator say, "Oh well, he compliments everybody. He compliments everybody." Well, from my standpoint, where I said he compliments those people, he gets them maybe some subs, And then he goes to him in the background and he tries to manipulate him and control him into doing certain videos on certain subjects at certain times. That's my experience with that. So, and it's interesting how this person, oh, well, he's, he praises these people. Well, he also tells you to unsub from people too. So this guy's a master manipulator. Now I've looked into his background and he finally came clean a week or two ago and he started talking about, oh, he's been in trouble and he's had some problems and all this kind of crap. Well, and then I see this other creator saying, oh, well, I mean, we can overlook certain things and we can overlook that. Well, the good thing about our justice system is that when you're young and before you're 18, with the exception of a few things, you can get in trouble numerous times and you may have to go to reform school, or you may have to do some things, but you're not going to do hard time. You're not going to do anything that's going to hurt you the rest of your life, because once you turn 18, the juvenile stuff gets shut down and you can't see it. So then at that point, any mistakes that you make from 18 on, you really should know better. So I get that people are willing to accept mistakes. They're willing to accept this, but obviously this creator who is making these comments has not looked into this guy's background, hasn't checked him out, and he's not going to talk about it. Although I'm going to put that challenge out to this chicken shit right here and now, that you think you want to come clean with everybody. Why don't you talk about your record? Okay. Because it's not a mistake or two or three. It's like 25 or 26 mistakes over a period of years. Okay. You're a thief. You're a fraud. You're a drunk. And you're a rat. Okay. You got that? You're a thief. You're a drunk. You're a rat. And you're a fraud. Okay. For my calculation, it looks like you've spent, well, a good portion of maybe up to half your adult life incarcerated. So if you guys want to call this a mistake, then I guess you can call it a mistake or a couple of mistakes. But this isn't a mistake or a couple of mistakes. This is a pattern. And so we see that pattern in this community, because this person has lied, and he lied to me on the phone when I talked to him when he was himself, because he told me, we talked about our age, and he told me that we're almost the same age. Well, no, we're not. We're 6 or 7 years difference. And I know he's lied. I mean, KL's going to talk about it. I mean, he lied about her criminal history. She's got no criminal history. But anyway, this guy's a liar. He's a manipulator. He does all this behind the scenes. And I'm pretty fed up with it. So I'm going to get out here. I'm going to get out in front on this. And you want to take me on, I'm right here. I'm your target. So come after me. And it just amazes me how people don't, I mean, I guess when you're in the matrix and you're programmed to go for the personality and not what the person is saying. I mean, this guy has been all over the board. One day he's over here, the next day he's in an opposite corner. He supports this union guy. I'll never forget that video. About fell out of my chair. The union guy, the steroid head, who said, "Oh well, Levi's. You guys don't understand what the hell's going on. Levi's his body cam was in the dock. It was in the dock, and he wasn't even on duty." And then the fit report comes out and says just the opposite. He was on duty. And he did have his body worn camera on. He just forgot to turn it on. But this guy would like to have this steroid head as his neighbor. Then he talks about the livor mortis and says, "Oh, well, I made that video. I made that a long, long time ago, and they took it down." And then at the same time, okay, so if there's livor mortis and that's the case, then that whoever that body is on 135 was dead long before the breach, long before the shooting started. Yet he tries to work that back into it and saying, well, he's guilty, he's guilty, he's guilty. And then recently he makes this video after he's now finally tried to show his face. Then he makes this video and he comes out and he says, I want closure, this part 1 and part 2 closure. So you want closure, like you want all this to stop, and I want it all to stop too. I want the nonsense to stop too, but you just can't let it go because you seem to want to manipulate this whole community. And then he does a video about KL. Then he does his stupid barbershop video today and threatens Soul Surfer, who is the salt of the earth and a good guy and an honest guy, and is just trying to create content that we can all we can all use and we can all appreciate. And he brings a lot to the table. He's in Vegas, so he's got an insight into the local situation there. He also has an expertise that he's shared with us, and yet this guy wants to go after him, wants to go after KL. Well, come after me. And this is a pattern, guys. This is a pattern of his. He's a criminal. His whole family's a criminal. As a matter of fact, his whole family. Okay. He's got a twin brother. He's got a son. And, they're all trouble. They're all trouble. So if you want to support him, be my guest. He's going to punk you if he hasn't already. And some of you have learned the hard way, I know. And then others are out there still, I guess, unable to reach a place where they can say, hey, I misjudged this guy. I was wrong. So they want proof. They want proof on the active soul and the justice for who and the tropical blue. Well, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to get it. There is not going to be proof. Okay. But you got to ask yourself this question. Why did all this stop? Why did all this activity stop when Soul Surfer put out his video? Because it all came to a grinding halt. And why is it that he is the only one that knows who Justice for Who and Active Soul is? And then he makes some comment the other day, and I got one more point, and then I'll end this. But he makes a comment the other day about, well, I was going to do a three-way. I was going to do a three-way. Well, you know what? I'll do a three-way with Trump. Okay? Anybody wants to do a three-way with Trump. But if you don't take me up on it, I can always say later, well, I was going to do a three-way with Trump, but you guys wouldn't do it. You guys didn't do it. So I guess that proves that I could have put you in touch with Trump, right? I mean, that's his reasoning, and it's so convoluted, it's unbelievable. The last thing I want to say is that of all the stupid things that he has said, and it's a list of 100 pages, if not more, when he made the comment about the wives, about how the husbands now got their wives involved, he talked about the wives as if they're property, like they don't have any brains, they don't have anything to say, they shouldn't have anything to say. And this is the way he is, because this is what got him started with KL on the stupid spanking comment. And I know who he's directing that to. He's directing that to Mrs. Farmer, and he's directing that to Lisa Diesel. And those two have contributed a bunch to this community, a lot. And it just rankles me to no end that he thinks that he can sit there and talk about them as if they are some kind of own chattel property, and they have no say. They can't think for themselves. They can't do for themselves. And why is their husbands letting them get off the reservation here and going and making these videos, or even that they have a voice where they can state their opinion and they can make their own videos? I mean, to me, it's just so disgusting. So anyway, I'm going to apologize for this, because this is not what I like to do. This is not what I'm here for. I'm not here to do investigations on some of the creators. I'm not here to go for the low hanging fruit. I'm here to go for the big guys. But I do appreciate Nini providing me with this opportunity. And I know that what is coming is going to be pretty eye-opening for those of you who aren't already aware of what this clown has been doing all this time. But he's a career criminal, is what he is. Thanks, Nini. I'm done.
Well, thank you so much, Paladin. I appreciate it, and I'm sure everybody in this live stream right now really appreciates your input and your thoughts, because you are so well respected, and deservedly so. There's just, I don't think any of us want to be here doing this right now, but it is something that needs to be done so that we can just move forward and do what we came here to do in the first place, is to try to get a handle on what happened in Las Vegas, October 1st, 2017. That's our purpose, not trashing somebody, not bashing somebody. However, with what this person has done, it has gotten us to this point. And whatever happens with him, he has brought all of this on himself. He could have stopped at any time, but he chose not to. And he's still choosing not to, which on some level blows me away, but on another level, I think, well, that's exactly what this type of person would do, because they're not wired like we are. They don't, and they think everybody thinks like they do, and we don't. We can see through the bullshit. If you step back far enough, you can see through the bullshit. And I've had my own experience with Active Soul, Tropical Blue, Baldface, whoever the hell he was that day. But I've said this before in a live stream, but I got, I don't know how many emails from this dude over a 2-week period. And then I get a screenshot of an email of somebody else's that is from Tropical Blue 17, but he's saying, well, I contacted her, meaning me. So Active Soul is the only one that's ever contacted me. So when this guy was Tropical Blue whatever, he is also Active Soul 71, exactly what Paladin was saying. And he has been just playing these games behind the scenes over and over and over, and featuring women on his channel. Or, well, he featured a lot of other creators on his channel, but he would have ladies' night. And it wasn't because he thought we were doing great work or anything. It was, oh, here's a little pat on the head, and now I can contact you and manipulate you, and you can do the videos that I want you to do when I want you to do them, basically. Well, that didn't work on me at all, and I don't think it worked. I really don't think it worked on anybody, but it's just the fact that he tried to pull that bullshit. Number one, it's just gross. And it's a little bit different because I saw on NServe's live stream last night a person in this community, Alan, saying, oh, little lies, big lies, what difference does it make? Like, whatever, move on, you know, do. No, it's not about just somebody telling lies. It's about the manipulation. It's about treading in people's lives. There's a difference, because he has wreaked havoc in this community. He really has, because we're at this point right now. If he hadn't have done what he's done, we wouldn't be doing this right now. We would not be doing this. So with that, I am going to turn it over to KL, and I'm going to try to screen share while she talks. And we're going to be putting a lot of information. We're going to be throwing a lot of information at you. But what we're going to do is make a video, have a video available. It's not right now, but very shortly we'll have a video available of everything that we're going to look at tonight. So you can, look at it at your leisure. But let me see now. I have to figure out how to screen share. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start screen sharing. Hopefully it will work. Okay. Is it working yet? No. Oh, it's trying. Wow, I'm sorry this is so slow. I don't know what the deal is, but
Nene, you were screen sharing.
I am? Okay. Well, it's not to the screen that I want it to be.
Yeah, you have to take it off.
Oh, I have to take it off. Okay. My bad. I'm sorry. There. Is that better?
You got it.
Got it? Okay. Okay. KL, you're up, girly.
Well, hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. I would honestly like to be talking about anything, pretty much anything, except for what we're talking about here tonight. I don't want to be doing this. If I did want to be doing this, I would have done it a long time ago. And I chose to keep the information to myself. I'll explain why I got information in the first place. I'll explain how this all played out. And I have a lot of information that I've shared over the last year, year and a half. But I do have one thing that I can thank 10 for, and that is the fact that I learned through the course of my involvement over the internet with him that I needed to start preserving some information other than articles and research that I was doing on Vegas. I learned over the course of weeks that it would be a good idea for me to start saving messages and comments and notifications that I was receiving, because of the fact that it seemed like I was under some sort of target or an attack by 10. And I apologize for my voice. I think I'm getting a little bit of an irritation in my throat because of my allergies. So please forgive me if I sound a little crackly. But all this started back at the end of 2017, I believe it was. I don't remember exactly when his channel came out. And I was actually supportive of his channel in the beginning. He had some questionable tactics, I will say, and but he seemed to be innocent enough, and I encouraged and wanted any information that I could find, read, watch, hear about, whatever, anything that had to do with Vegas. I was more than welcoming any information that I could see, find, anything. I felt like at that point in my life, it almost consumed me. It was something I did hours upon hours a day when I really shouldn't have been. So as new channels continued to pop up, you know, it was like I would wake up in the morning and I couldn't see what notification. I couldn't wait to see what notifications were out there, to see what new information might be out there. And so when 10 came on the scene, or at that point he was D. James, I was obviously supportive of the channel. And then I started noticing just these little digs, little things he would say, mainly about women. There were a lot of degrading comments about women, but just little things here and there that he would say that, you know, some people would think, oh, that's not a big deal, or, you know, why would that matter? But as they continued, it got on my nerves, to be honest with you. And then he did a video called Ladies Night. And Ladies Night, as Jen mentioned, you know, he was going to feature her channel, and there was another commenter that had reached out to him and had a bunch of questions that he was going to take some time and answer. I can't remember all the details, honestly. But the Ladies Night video was so insulting. I think he spent about all of maybe 2 minutes highlighting Jen's channel. He was very condescending to the gal that was in the comments, and then I think he spent another hour and some odd minutes with a red drill in his hand, trying to explain to the women out there how, you know, how a drill works and what that would, you know, what that would entail, so on and so forth. And it was just incredibly insulting. I made a joke about it in the comments because I was trying to be, well, I was trying not to be cutthroat, because that's how I felt, to be honest with you. But I was trying to get a point across without being rude, I guess. You know, I don't think it would be rude. I think it was me, you know, wanting to be direct, but I tried to make it lighthearted because, you know, he already had this story out there about his health, and, you know, he was an older gentleman and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to, you know, share my opinion, but do it in a way that wasn't so direct. And it just spiraled from there. It seemed like when I put that comment out there, that turned a switch on or something. I'm not sure what it was in that comment, but it just spiraled from there. He had commented back and tried to play it off nice. We're talking about somebody who at one point he could be Dr. Jekyll and the next minute he's Mr. Hyde. I mean, you know, there's the nice comments during the day when everybody can see, and, you know, he'll leave those comments up and he wants to be supportive and, oh, don't mind me, I'm just a commenter. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to weed my way through this. And then there would be the scathing comments that he would post later on in the night that got to be very nasty, and he would leave up for just a few minutes or, you know, maybe an hour. Maybe he wanted to make sure you saw them, and then he would delete those. So this comment spiraled into him continuing to go back to my same comment and post other information, post another link, post another comment, you know, direct me to another video that he felt that it was, you know, imperative that I had to see. And it went on and on and on. And I told him, you know, I'd had enough, and I said, you know, I've had enough of this. Knock it off. You know, I'm not interested. He did it again, you know. So I left a very long, very direct, very, you know, very mean. I'll say it. It was mean. Email to him and explained to him, or not an email, but it was a very long comment. It was probably a book's worth of what I said, and I just told him, you know, leave me alone, you know, back off. You're condescending, chauvinistic, you know, crappy person is how I felt. Leave me alone. I don't want to hear what you have to say. He left that comment alone, but then it just spiraled from there. We're talking about months and months of you know, this going on. So I moved on, and then it just continued. I mean, it would continue on other channels. You know, he would follow me on Charlton's channel, on Hoover's channel, on Jake Morphonius, on whoever was out there at the time. He would find me, track me down, and make comments. Now you're going to see in these screenshots, because I do have screenshots. I wish I had screenshots of everything he said to me, because you would not believe some of the things that man has said. Not only to me, I had witnessed him saying these things to a couple of other people as well. There's one gal who I don't even believe she's on YouTube anymore, but she really got hammered by him. And I wouldn't share her information. I actually do have some of that information on another phone, but I wouldn't share that without her permission. But she's not even on YouTube anymore. She literally couldn't stand or take his abuse any longer. But you're going to see in these screenshots, which I learned after a certain period of time, to start saving this information or start screenshotting it as when I could, because he would erase the comments pretty quickly at times. So you are also going to see in these screenshots, you're going to see two other channels that I have. Yes, I do have other channels, and there's very few people on YouTube who don't have other channels. I'll tell you why I have other channels, and I will go out there and let somebody know that my channels are me. And I made two other channels at that time because I had been blocked by Hoover. I think a lot of us have been blocked by Hoover at one point or another, but I was blocked by Hoover. And then when I made the one channel, he blocked me again. So then I made an IMKL channel with the hashtag. And so when you see these screenshots, you're going to see those two different channels. And that's why I have those channels, because I don't like to be blocked if I'm wanting to say something. So I'll go out there and I would say this is KL or this is from KL, and you'll see that screenshot in here as well. So there's also, I think I have over I don't know, 70, 80 screenshots that we're going to be flipping through here tonight. So I'm not going to go through and read all of these, every single word on these screenshots. Like Jen said, we're going to put a compilation together and make sure that it's out there for people to see, because, you know, I was falsely accused of extorting somebody on his video the other day. That is absolute bullshit. And I feel like I have no other choice now but to defend myself. And I realize that this person, I'm reading the comments out here, and I see he might be paid disinfo. He might be a lot of things. But what I do know is that he is a harassing, chauvinistic pig, and I'm not going to put up with it anymore. So whatever you are, or whoever you are, or whatever your contacts are, I suggest you just leave me out of it from now on, because I'm going to put it all out here now. I'm going to move on. This is it for me tonight. I'm not going to address any of this shit anymore. I'm not going to have these conversations anymore. I'm here for a reason. I want to investigate Vegas. I want to stay on task, and I'm not going to let this shit deter me anymore. So we're going to get it out tonight. We're going to put the video up. You guys can read through the messages at your leisure. We're going to cover these and the highlights basically tonight. So this first message that you're seeing, I also do, if you can see at the bottom, I did try to include the metadata for when I took the screenshots. So you can see that this is an actual message. This isn't something that was typed up, you know, because there's been another video, a doxing video out there about me, where there were all these comments typed by survivors. And I will be honest with you, I don't know how those comments would have ever been directed at me, because I've never went out there and attacked a survivor. I've never went out there and attacked anybody. I've been direct in my messages, and I've certainly never gone out there and said, nobody didn't die, and, you know, all the things that I've been accused of. That's all complete crap. So I feel that the messages that were in that doxing video were falsified. You know, so I wanted to make sure that you could see that as much as I could provide evidence as to when I screenshot these are real messages. They're not fake. So the first group of messages that we have here, and I'm just going to go over this in general. This is a message where this was about Jake Morphonius, when he and Cullen has had their issue on the Jason Goodman channel, and D. James had posted a comment. I was responding to the comment. I put the response in here so you could see what I had said. And this was after several comments on my KL channel, which I did not screenshot, other than I do have another phone that I need to look at where I may not have saved my screenshots to a cloud. I didn't have time to do that to get this ready tonight. So if I find those, or if I have screenshots of those on my other phone, I will definitely include those in the video. But these are the ones that I had available to me right now. And the comments that I experienced as KL, what an idiot I am, which you're going to see. You're going to see proof of that as we continue with these screenshots. But what an idiot I am because I'm a woman, calling me the C word, you know, just being insulting about, you know, how many brain cells I have, and I mean, the list goes on. Just, he would make videos in the middle of the night. I know that there are some people out there who saw those, and I don't want to really call anybody out by name, but I know there's some of these people are in the chat even, where they had seen these videos in the middle of the night where he would just make these scathing videos about me in particular, about garden stakes, you know, going up your ass, and, you know, all kinds of things, you know, where they would be gone the next day. Or not even the next day, within an hour or so, they'd be gone, and it would be in the middle of the night. So I just want you to understand why I decided to look into his background and see what I was dealing with, because, you know, I felt like I couldn't get away from his nasty comments. I couldn't get away. And you know, I am Italian. I'm a hothead sometimes. You know, if you're going to come and challenge me in a comment, or, you know, you're going to go out there and especially put out a lot of disinformation, which I felt like he was doing. You know, my focus then was more about the investigation, honestly, than worrying about who I'm dealing with, or, you know, should I really be saying this, or, you know, should this be something that I'm even participating in? And that is absolute truth, because when I started on YouTube and I started making comments, I did it in my full name, which you all know. It's all been out there. Carrie Larkin. Yep, that's my name. And I did that. Initially. I was out there making comments in my full name. It wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I really did not expect all of the turmoil that some of us have experienced in this community. I did not expect that would be something that would be occurring in here. So, you know, that was another lesson that I learned, but I really didn't have that focus at the time. I was really more concerned about the things that were being said, about how people were being treated. And so, you know, I instead of thinking first and foremost that I need to make sure that I think of my safety, I didn't think that it would be a concern. So anyway, I put this first comment in there so you can see what my initial comment was. And then I have, I don't know if these are in order, but the next comment you can see, and this is on the Lady Kimura one. This is when I learned that I need to start screenshotting some of this information. And you can see in the next one, Jen, I don't think you're on this.
I was getting ahead of you probably. I'm sorry.
Okay. Because the next one you can see, and I know that these might be hard to read right now, but you can see at the bottom of the response, this would be the second one.
This one?
The one where it's the bottom, it says this person needed spanked. That's just one example of where he, you know, talked about me being spanked. And that's just one time. I mean, he said it in a sexual way. He would leave comments about being spanked in a sexual way, about being,
where
you know,
he said, in parentheses, sorry, Charlton, this person needed spanked.
And he said, I won't be bullied. But, you know, you'll see my comment ahead of that, you know, before that, when we put the video out, you can read through these, you know, but I didn't bully him. You know, I did not bully him at all. But I, you know, I wanted to make sure that I could include as much information here as possible. And this was one time where he's talking about I needed to be spanked. Then the next one, I'm going to read some of this comment. And yes, I was very confrontational with him because I had had enough of this man. Okay. I don't think people can really understand unless you're in the situation. But if you're being treated the way I was treated, and again, you know, Italian hothead, I'm just not going to sit back and let somebody talk to me the way he did. So, you know, so I let him know I'm not putting up with this. And I said, you know, don't throw the word bully around. And then I was really trying to stay on topic with the discussion, because this was about him basically saying that Jake Morphonius committed a crime by saying what he had said about John Cullen. And so I had also talked about, you know, his force feeding the narrative to people, and, you know, going on about being spanked. So then we go into the next one where he had replied. Do you see the one where it's a notification, Jen? It says D. James replied.
Hold on. Yes, I think this is it. Is that what you're looking for?
No, it's just the notification. There you go. So this was a comment that he actually he put up and then he took down, and you can see it was 30 minutes later when I checked my notifications. He had already taken this down, and he was talking about maybe you have brain cells, maybe a few more than most, and that was actually not nearly as bad as some of the other comments that he's made about me not having brain cells and how stupid I am, and calling me a female. He says female like it was a dirty word. So then I commented back and I said, I saw a snippet of your last comment to me. You deleted in the thread, much like you handle those videos on your channel when you've been completely wrong, completely sauced, or should not have had a possession of a recording device in the first place. Behavior patterns are indicative of a person's character or lack thereof. If you felt you had to spank me and achieve the task, why did you take the comment down, D? Don't worry, I already know the answer. I said that because he'd had a pattern of doing this. He would, say these horrible, nasty things, and then he would take the comments down. So it was a reoccurring thing. These comments here are just to provide some sort of basis for you to understand and provide evidence that, some of these things you can see here were being said. I hope I can find the other screenshots on my other phone. But then we can go into, because Jen, if you want to go to the next folder.
Okay. I missed. Okay.
Which would be the channel down one.
Yep, that's where I'm at.
Okay, so now there were a lot of things that occurred between the last comment and the one that you're going to see now. I had decided at this point, like I said, I wanted to know who I was dealing with. I wanted to know what kind of person would make this not about the investigation, okay? Not about the investigation, not about the topics at hand, but make it personal, make it an attack, make it about you being a woman, make it about you being the C word, make it about, you being an idiot bitch, who can't think for themselves. So I looked into his background. I'd had a friend at the time who had received some emails from him where it seemed like he was giving her he'd given her the cold shoulder when she wanted to email him and give him some information. Then he turned around and, emailed her and was sending pictures of himself and his dog and saying, oh, B's not here tonight. B meaning Bridget, his wife, who he talked about on a regular basis. And that's out there, he put that in videos though. And in the email, there was a listed location. And so I started digging and I started doing some research and I found a lot of information. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to jump around a little bit here, but I'm going to tell you right now, I found a lot of information. I did speak about this information to a few people. I never, not once, sent that information to anyone until very, very recently. And that's because I didn't feel the need to do that. I wasn't on the hunt for 10. I wasn't on the hunt for D. James. I wanted to know who I was dealing with. That was it. That was my intention with looking him up. That was my intention with wanting to know, what kind of person, takes on this activity and takes on this role that he took on online and did this, these sneak attacks on women. that is why I looked up his information. So when I decided to do that, you know, more comments, you know, took place, you know, more exchanging of comments. I got tired of it. And so I said one thing that would have something to do with his personal life. Okay. When he says that he was doxxed and that he was threatened and that his information was put out there for everyone to see, it's absolutely not true. If you look in this comment, all I did was ask one question, and it's, how is Miss Donahue this evening? There was somebody that was in his life with that name. That was it. And I then went on to talk about some of the comments that were deleted that Mr. Burgundy and I had commented on a previous video of his, because he had a habit of, if he didn't like what you had to say on the video, or if there were several comments on a video that that he did not like, he would just delete the video. So I brought that up in this comment. Now that is the only thing that I said to him. That's it. That happened on April 15th. And then if you go on, you can see that the next one is on April 15th. Later on, I believe it was a Sunday. I went to go look at his channel because Farmers for Truth put out a video that day. And his video was about saying that, D. James' channel he's received 3 strikes. It went down. You know, he just wants me to reach out to the community. He needs our, our support, blah, blah, blah. So I went and looked at the channel, and all of a sudden I see that, this new picture is in there where there used to be just a green circle with a person in it. So this picture was put up. Now we've all seen the face of this person now, and that certainly doesn't match the face. Does it? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
And so then I went to comment on the video, which these again are not going to be in order. But this is the video that that Farmers had put up. And all of a sudden there's this person named Facts First who's out there commenting on Farmer's video. And this person is talking as if 10 or D. James is an attorney. Said that he told you all he was a legal assistant. Bullshit. He's an actual attorney. His partner did my case, but it's his office. What the F was he doing here? I can't understand. Troll's got his ass, or he just said F this. Okay, well, my opinion is, and my strong opinion is that was him. It was him out there trying to defend himself. So he goes on, the same person talking about how that they saw he had 2 videos removed by YouTube myself, which I don't know how you would know that those were, exactly removed by YouTube, but 2 videos removed by YouTube myself at about 3 p.m. He had another video with a strange pop-up on the confirmation to watch. Goes on and on. He's the only one who had an issue that made sense. And then I went on to address this person. And then I asked, how can you see strikes? I thought it was amazing that this person could, knew so much about the ins and outs of the 10 channel or the D. James channel. When, it was a mystery that he was gone. And when I went to look at his channel, it actually said that it had been taken down, which he has since confirmed that he took it down himself, that it was a close. It says, user closed the account. And so these comments I made. So then the next one is to show that Facts First then put a female in the picture because they wanted you to believe that that was a female instead. So then you can see that D. James himself went out there on Farmer's channel and said, 2 videos I made prior to collaboration work, YouTube took on Sunday, and a third received a may contain offensive material statement within an hour, which is exactly what Frex first said. Imagine that. But again, has since come out and said that he took the channel, closed the account down himself. Most of my material I had saved, including the 2 that were removed. I've received death threats on YouTube, which I had reported before removing comments, and have in recent weeks told Mr. Burgundy and other channels that as the channel grew, the anger grew. Received a mail threat and went to the police. So in the mail, I received a threat, went to the police and notified YouTube. My true identity is not known to YouTube. The mail threat was addressed to the pseudonym name of a relative in our family that struggles with mental illness that I used as my channel name, part of his name. When I opened the channel, it was to show love for him and benefit him mentally. But the threat letter was addressed to him, yet addressed to my home, which we do not share, and mentions relatives that do not reside with me. The postmaster says the letter barcode confirms a Northeast USA place of origination. Very important right there, Northeast USA place of origination. There is more that occurred that points to who did this, and more disturbing mailing than mailing a threat. My family members are outraged, and the weakest of whom, which was originally named my channel for, is in shock. None of us thought that equating his name with the search for truth would lead him or his wife or even my own late father being threatened. Seriously, my late father. We never thought twice that using his name for the channel as he loves country music would be so misconstrued. Threats of death, threats by mail. If you are reading this, you can seriously comprehend the depth of hatred. Not sure if YouTube or the police department are going to allow me to reopen. I'm waiting on YouTube to contact the police. I didn't know YouTube did that. I will post the police report portion of the mail threat after YouTube responds to them. At this point, I just have to wait. Okay, so obviously this was shortly after I confronted him about the one question, the one and only question I ever asked him, the one and only. And this was what occurred. All right, so that was his post on Farmer's channel. So then he had also gone out there and said that NServe had somehow gotten photos of his house or his stairs in his house or something like that, which amazingly enough came up in another live today. He'd gotten some pictures in a video he did. He then, I think, accused WAPTEC of being involved. I'm not really sure. I didn't get too involved in that. I just knew that I had received a comment from D. James prior to this, where he made mention of how much time and how much I liked NServe. And at that point in time, I was on NServe's channel a lot. I did leave a lot of comments. I did exchange comments back and forth, and it was interesting to me that, you know, that D. James made sure to mention to me that he took note of how much I commented back and forth with NServe and how much I watched his videos. And then all of a sudden, NServe, you know, had somehow posted private information and private pictures of his house. Now, I heard today that NServe claimed that he received a cease and desist for this or something like that through the courts. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't listen to NServe anymore. I unsubbed months ago. But I'm going to say right now, my opinion is if he's claiming that he received some sort of cease and desist about those stairs, that's complete bullshit. I don't believe that at all. Because I believe that NServe would have said that back then. I mean, he made a video about this saying that he was being attacked. This was at the same time that all of this was going on, April 20th, you can see. Then if you go next and you can see, oh, look, there's Facts First out there making comments. You've been identified as a group that is attacking NServe. You've been reported. You are a fresh channel just made up to attack NServe. You've been reported and action is being taken. Low life scum. Interesting, right? So another comment from, I don't think I think that's a mistake. That next one shouldn't be in there. The facts first one, we already showed that. Sorry. I put these together as quickly as I could. Yeah, so we've already went through that. Okay, so, so then this, what was
But
that?
we didn't get to this one. Can you see what I'm on? I clicked.
Yeah,
like two or
that was again, you know, we'll post all these comments, but I was calling out Facts First for being D James right there. Because I knew it was D James. I called him out for being D James, and then Facts First said, you know, what the fuck, you clicked on the wrong icon. I have no idea what that meant. But I believe that was on NServe's channel at that time. So now, behind the scenes, when this is going on, and 10 is claiming that or D James, I'm sorry, D James is claiming that he was he received death threats, and he was attacked on YouTube, and somebody had pictures of the inside of his house, and he had this big police investigation going on, and he had YouTube investigating it, and they wouldn't let him reopen his channel, and he had the police on this. I mean, all of these claims. He then reached out to Mr. Burgundy. So we can go to those emails, Jen.
Okay. Is that the right one? No. These?
No, the emails should be.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting there. Is that where we need to be?
Yep.
Okay. So these are emails between Mr. Burgundy and...
These are emails between Mr. Burgundy and D. James.
Okay.
And Mr. Burgundy forwarded these emails to me. He contacted me and said that D. James was going off the rails and accusing him of taking part in this attack against him. Now, keep in mind, Mr. Burgundy knew at that point, I talked to him on a regular basis. He knew about the attacks that were happening to me. He knew about the things that D. James had said to me. He had seen it himself. Also, CL, who was a good friend of mine at the time, she personally witnessed all of these attacks. Maybe not all of them, but a lot of them. She saw them herself. She made comments against D. James and defended me. And you know, she also supported me on the Farmers for Truth channel when he put that video up, and those comments will be in the video that we make together, so you guys can see that you know, both she and Mr. Burgundy were out there defending my position. But Mr. Burgundy commented me and said that he had received these emails from D. James, and that he was accusing him of taking part in this. Okay, so the first one, as he said, here was the first email he sent. Just received an email from one of your friends that says, you know who is attacking my nephew. Actually sent the email addresses, forwarded an email to me that is uglier than ugly. I don't know what this means, okay? I have to turn it over. I gave no choice. Why would you ever want to involve yourself in this type of activity? I had nothing to lose here. Nothing. There's no loss. You had to know that. Did you not think it through? I'm speechless. He replied and said, Daryl, someone is fucking with you. I have no idea what you were talking about. And frankly, it is extremely insulting for you to accuse that of me. You're losing your mind. And if you can't handle things better than this, you need to step away from the whole thing totally. He replied and said, my name's not Daryl. And I think you've been smart enough to know that. I'm not worried about me. They know who I really am. It's my nephew and Miss Donahue that your great friends have doxed thinking it was me. They posted inside photos of my house in a video, and they know damn good and well that Daryl does not live there. I do. You brought into this game. I'm sorry, you bought into this game, and then you doubled down believing. I don't know which one lives in Pennsylvania yet, but I bet you do. Northeast. They are finding out. Believe that. Why don't you do the right thing? About the inside photos, did you know that? Do you not understand they know exactly who I really am? Still did this? Why not attack my real name, Paul? They have 2 pictures from inside my house in a goddamn video, Paul. You tell your friends the best mistake they made was the mail threat. Step away, Paul. How would you handle it? I think I've done well. Police first, then waited. Their confidence grew. Then police this morning with more information. Then informing you guys about the damn. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to go on and read the next part of it. But I'm going to tell you right now, these speech patterns in this email, I know a lot of you could match this up to the active soul, to the tropical blue. The way that last paragraph goes with the questions and not actually stating, full sentences. Spot on. That is the exact pattern that's been in those active soul and tropical blue emails. About the inside photos, did you know that? Do you not understand? They know exactly who I really am. Still did this. Why not attack my real name, Paul? They have 2 pictures. You tell your friends the best mistake they made was the mail threat. Step away. How would you handle it? I think I've done well. Police first. Their confidence grew. Then police this morning with more information. Then informing you guys about the damn police. This is so ridiculous. What's next? They burn my retirement down, Paul. Ed's, I think. Ed's retirement. Then they used inside photos of my goddamn house, Paul, in a YouTube video. They know who I am, and if you don't know about that video, you may be innocent. Do you know about the video using the inside photos of my house? Now, I'm going to tell you, NSERV went out there and made a video and showed exactly where he got those stairs. This is all a freaking lie. All of it was an absolute lie. He made the whole thing up. Okay, then Burgundy responded, and I'm going to go over this quickly. There's a lot in here, but Daryl, I have no doubt that's your name because you're forgetting I've spoken to you on the phone. I found you very truthful. That's changed, trust me. And you even spelled it out for me that day that you told me your friends called you D. Yeah, I'm pretty smart, though. I've never had anything bad to say about you other than I don't agree with your falling glass theory. You want to know the reason you have never seen me go after that theory? Because I do believe you're genuine and care about this investigation. Changed. You can verify those exact sentiments from Sleep Dep or Farmers or anyone else I've spoken to on the phone. It's the same reason I've never made a debunking video aimed at Joe, although I could have made a channel doing that, because I feel like he's genuine and cares. I would never do that against someone I feel is being genuine and just missing the facts. That is why I do go after Hoover, because I don't care what you say. Just like this situation, you've misjudged him and you were too close to the wood chipper. Have you ever given any thought that Hoover is from the Northeast? Who do you know who hates me and would love to turn you against me? You are not using your brain. Since we've spoken on the phone, you know I have a thick Southern accent. I'm also on a Vegas protest video showing my whole self, talking the same Southern draw in the video to Joe. Leaves the link. Put my picture up with Corey Langdon, and nobody knew from the protest. Nothing to hide. I've kept anonymous because of the YouTube crazies out there. Clearly, with good reason, as you can see. I've spoken to Alan on the phone. He knows I am Southern. I've talked to Chris on the phone. He knows I am Southern. I've spoken to you on the phone, and you know that I'm Southern, all from a Tennessee area code, not using your brain. You made a reference to Miss Donahue, so that tells me that all this about the comment that KL left on your video and referenced that name. No idea who that is, nor do I give 2 shits. Clearly, KL has a problem with you, and she told me it was because you were chauvinistic towards her, and you told her she needed a spanking. There was much more to that. That is all I know about about her problems with you. And again, I couldn't give 2 shits less about it because it doesn't concern me. I do know KL is in the Midwest and has called me from a phone number in Iowa, not the Northeast. Still didn't even understand exactly what you were talking about. They posted inside photos of my house and video. What freaking video? Should be easier to narrow down. I know everyone who comes into my house, and I would be damn sure know who took the photos, blah, blah, blah. Are you sure they aren't just grabbing screens of your old videos? It's not like those videos don't exist anymore. I personally have every video ever made about Las Vegas. Since October 7th, Bob Wildefish has archived it all and sent it to me. So I repeat, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. Again, I repeat this even louder. Your accusatory tone you have taken with me pisses me off to no end, and you can stick it straight up your ass. I have done nothing wrong, and I have nothing to hide. Sorry, I'm having to go through screens here. You have my cell phone number, and that links to every bit of who I am. Better yet, why don't you take your happy ass down to the police station right now, give whoever my number, and call me. Not using your brain. You've lost respect in YouTube friendship, one of the very few honest YouTubers left in me. Clearly, you're not intelligent enough to be able to identify what is real in this whole mess. Okay, so then he goes on. Could care less what you believe about my identity. Wasn't going to speak in videos and use work using my real goddamn name. No, I'm just going to use my mentally ill nephew. Sure. And use Gmail accounts and contacts on you guys never. I know you're Southern and whoever's in Pennsylvania mailed the threat. The timing with KL in the video of extremely old pre-model work I did in the 80s in the video is not photos in my possession at all. Too coincidental. That's 3 issues, and one of them made the mistake of mailing me. Had a couple of huge 80-plus family reunions, and all that was pre-digital, blah, blah, blah. In early 2010, I had a realtor list the home, and those photos are still up. I'm going to tell you something that he told one gal in this community who really believed every word this man said and really got taken by him big time. And she got very emotional about it. He wound up stabbing her in the back just because she made a comment on somebody's video and just tore her apart on the phone. And he told that female in this YouTube community, as he would put it, that he had sex with this realtor, had wild sex on those stairs, and then he jilted her, and that's why she left those pictures up on the internet of his house. Okay, if y'all want to believe that. So then we go on here. Video showed Lake Oswego and the view from my multiple angles, and I felt comfortable as I know who I am. There's no threat to me, none. No threat to me, none. Hear that? The real estate photos are online and in my name, the house worth, my office, everything, even photos of me. They know exactly 100% who I am. Using freaking interior photos in a video, you're simply ignoring facts. I tell you the goddamn video, you still would think
Go lay down.
that you will. He talks in circles, so blah blah blah. They know Daryl nor you, Paul, could afford my home, and the son of a bitch threatens me. Is this debunking work that important? I see how KL thought Bridget is connected to me and can see her joy at finding Daryl. Y'all saw one sentence I said. That's it. That's it. I did not correspond with this man outside of that last sentence for months, okay? Other than his fake accounts that he was out there trying to defend this man, okay? I never worried about that and could care less if you believe that or not. It's a threat in home, interior, non-real estate photos and video that is threatening, not Vegas shit. Embarrassing as hell that I had to show the Oswego police this mess. I stepped in and like you, they thought I was a nut till I showed the video on their desktop and picture of the same interior space in my home and related picture from my phone. Yeah. Sure. Then they took notice and worry. Very embarrassing. It's not about Daryl, it's about the safety of my home. They went to great lengths letting me know that they know me. Separate from KL picking on Daryl, that's irrelevant. She outed Daryl and surely flagged my videos over and over. I could care less about her. She's too dumb to attack me or my home. You have a contact who is not your friend or is just playing with you. It's not Tony. It's not Hoover. I don't know who Tony is. He's not in Pennsylvania, Paul. It's not, but it's not you. But KL's and 2 others are in the report. One mailed a letter, one made a video, the other is a geek. Next time you talk to them, have the Lake Oswego Police Department Call them, have them call the police department. Trust me, KL will call you. Well, yeah, I talk to him all the time, you know. So Burgundy goes on to talk about, sounds like you do have a problem. You made this personal attack on me. Don't know where you get off making this claim. You know, it goes on and on, that he will contact the police department, gets that you're scared for your home, and then talks about who he made buddies with or something. I'm not aware of that kind of thing, the whole boys, run with the boys thing. So then, hope you nail the bad guy, solve the issue. The man takes their word very seriously. But then in his reply, Jen, if you want to go the one that has the red circle on it, he says, unless you live in Pennsylvania, why are you worried? You live in Tennessee. Only thing I see you as guilty of hell is being suckered by a female crisis actor believer. Your own admissions on YouTube about Kay Larkin and you're working with her are public. Nothing I can do about that. Her timing with the video is her big ass problem. And I guess YouTube will tell them where she lives in Pennsylvania. You see that? Where she lives in Pennsylvania. Now, in the recent video that I was accused of extorting him in, okay, and he talked about how he got a comprehensive report about me from the police department, okay. I'm assuming that they would know where I live if first of all, no police department is going to give out a comprehensive report, whatever the hell that means. But they're sure as hell not going to say that I live in Pennsylvania. I've never been to Pennsylvania, never stepped foot in Pennsylvania. So, another example of yet another lie.
Go lay down.
Okay?
Go lay down. No, just go lay down right now.
And again, I mean, this goes on and on, just back and forth, back and forth. Now, Burgundy sent this to me because he knew about the issue. He knew about what Daryl was doing. Daryl had done it to his, or D. James had done it to his one of his friends also, who had seen the late night videos and had raked her over the coals as well. And I'm not going to say her name, but I have comments from her where she, she and I talked about these late night videos. And so he shared the information with me because, and now he's getting in the brunt or getting this contact from D. James. And I'm guessing that D. James contacted him because Burgundy had one out there and provided support for me on that Farmers for Truth video. So I wanted to just make sure that you could see that exchange and the information that was in there at the time. And obviously this totally contradicts his claim of a comprehensive report that he claimed to have. So we will move on because I don't want to be here until the crack of dawn.
Right.
We'll go to the 1005 channel, the birth of 1005.
Oops.
Now, I didn't know that there was a 1005 channel. Actually, Mr. Burgundy is the one who informed me that there was a 1005 channel. I didn't know that existed. But I was sent notifications about.
Okay. I think, Kayla, I'm going to have to stop screen sharing for a moment and go grab, because I don't think I have the 1005, okay. The birth of a 1005. Well, I mean, I have it. I just didn't have it up. So.
Okay.
Okay. How do I? Okay, stop. Okay, so you can keep talking if you'd like while I run and grab that.
I'm going to go ahead and read the messages, and I haven't been watching the chat at all.
Neither have I.
So, okay, so I'm not sure what's going on in there, but I'm sure
And my
Maybe
dog
other
is
people are watching it.
a brat. So if you hear me snapping my fingers and weird stuff, it's my dog.
Okay, so on May 25th, there was a message that was left by 10:05 p.m. on one of his own videos, and it references his YouTube investigation. Now, y'all heard just now in his own words that he blamed me for his YouTube investigation, blamed me for the pictures in his house, blamed me for the mail threat that he received, even though that was, I was allegedly living in northeast part of the country, specifically Pennsylvania. He left a message to who I feel is could possibly be one of his own accounts, but that's just my opinion. It says, it's not a matter of giving WAP a break. There's a ton I can't discuss. But Jeff, as soon as YouTube finishes their investigation into the threats to my previous channel named for my nephew, I'll make Paddock's guns look like toys. And that we'll put that screenshot up here in a minute. But literally, I'll make Paddock's guns look like toys. I don't know about all of you, but I take that as a threat. And I'm not sure what that threat means, but it seems like I'm being threatened physically, saying that he's going to make Paddock's guns look like toys. I've said multiple times that I agree with much of his work. His hangout is a major problem at the moment. That would be Waptech, who, by the way, never even subscribed to that channel. I don't watch Waptech. I can't stand his videos. I do want to say a side note here also. In his video, he tried to say that the reason why, I allegedly attacked him is because I was I was saying that nobody died. I watched the video once. I was going to go back and watch it again and take notes for tonight, but I honestly couldn't stomach it. I didn't do it. But I know he said something about this all started because something about how I was out there saying nobody died. And I'm going to tell you right now, and anybody who knows me, most of you have seen my comments along the months that we've been together in this ghetto of a community. You all know that I didn't feel that way at all back then. That did not come out of my mouth. It's never come out of my mouth, as a matter of fact. But I certainly didn't say it back then. I didn't feel that way at all. I wasn't even on the drill path at this point in time back then, all the way back when this first started. I thought that there was something very odd with the police. I thought that they were hiding something. I was starting to lean towards some sort of military involvement. And I definitely thought that there was something else that occurred, some other attack, but I sure as hell I was not on any kind of crisis actor path or anything else at that time. So, and I do have text message screenshots of some of the conversation that I'd had with other people that did not have anything to do with 10 or D James, so I didn't include it here, but I will include it in the video that we make because it will prove I'm out there pissed as hell that that people are saying that nobody died, and I don't know if Dub's in the chat, but he's one person that could definitely attest to it because he and I butted heads about that. I didn't feel that way then. That's just a complete lie, just an absolute fabrication. I did not feel that way. Jen, I don't know if you're back, but the first message is the one that I'd like you to show, is the one that says that he'll make Paddock's guns look like toys. And I can't hear you, just so you know you're on mute. There you go.
I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm getting there, dear. Okay. Okay. I've got that up. I've got that comment up.
I just wanted to make sure I already read it, but I just want people to be able to see it, that there it is in writing. I'll make Paddock's guns look like toys.
And I'm wondering if this Jeff is the Jeff Feudner.
Well, you know what? I think Truth Bomb could you know, talk about that, because there's been a lot of activity lately with Truth Bomb and some conversation exchanges that he's had with a channel that seems to lead right back to the Jeff channel. I'm going to leave that to him if he wants to talk about it, because there were some very odd exchanges recently with a channel named George Burns and Truth Bomb, and then all of a sudden, you know, that there were other channels that popped up and got involved, and you know, it certainly indicates it. You know, the same patterns are there that we've already seen, you know, for months and months, and but I'm here to talk about what I have evidence of right now, so I'll leave it at that. So then the next one is 10, talking to Diana X, and he's referencing respect theories and twice crossed the line, that both times I publicly apologized, which is bullshit. He had never apologized to KL. And this is where he talked about where he publicly apologized to NServe, which I don't know if that's true or not, and KL saying she should be spanked. Okay. And then he said, and then my family was threatened by death and vile hate, very serious threats, and the mail threat is being prosecuted. YouTube in California took the coincidence of many of the people in your circle attacking at the same time as mail threat very, very seriously. As soon as LVMPD issues something, anything, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
It's all about 1005.
Yeah, I don't know what this what the prosecution, you know, I know nothing about any prosecution, but obviously, you know, according to him, I was right in the middle of it, but I have no information on that. Then you can see that Ali M left a comment here where he's still saying, then as 1005, my nephew's not me, and we, as in our entire family, love and support him. If that's a problem for the troll bitch who thinks she scored a hit in your love and belief system, then buy the Kool-Aid she sells. The right people know my name, my contact info. Is Burgundy his real name? Is Hunter K UK his real name? Is Ali M your real name? No, we all have channel names for a reason. And actually 10:05 p.m. is the first channel I've ever created opened. The lies never end. I mean, you know, so he's talking about his nephew and talks about the, you know, in the same paragraph, he contradicts himself. You know, he created a channel and dedicated it to his nephew, but then he turns around and 10:05 is actually the first channel he's ever created or opened. Imagine that. Okay, so the next one, if you go on, this is a comment that I left on JB's video, because JB had done a video. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it had something to do with a tribute to what was going on in the community. I think UK had shut down for a little bit at this time, and then he was talking about the D James channel being gone. So in this comment that I left to JB, and as you can see, you know, this was long ago. And in this comment, I'm explaining, without being too direct, but I am explaining, you know, trying to bring some clarity, because again, I had not gone out and shared the information that I had. I did not go out and share it. I did the research because I wanted to know for myself who I was dealing with. I had a small circle of people, I guess, that I talked to at the time. I think one of them knew about this, but I never shared or sent any information. I just talked about, and that person had actually experienced some of this themselves. So that's, we had, it was kind of a common thing that we talked about. So I kind of explained to him about the channel Who Cried Wolf, actually closed their own channel, claiming privacy invasion. As far as my experience as a target, that same channel made a regular habit of chastising my comments and others, not on their videos, but other channels, and regularly making insulting, rude, chauvinistic remarks, only to delete them after a short time so others wouldn't see that side of him. Now, this is on May 11th, people. May 11th, I I made the comment, or it was around that time that I made the comment because I screenshot it and saved it. I started making a habit of screenshotting a lot. I mean, that's the truth. I did. I felt like I needed to. So you can see that this was way back when, where I am saying, I'm trying to explain, what had been occurring to me. Okay, what was going on? This was not, KL was out there saying that there were so many crisis actors, or, nobody died, and because you don't agree with me, I'm going to go on the attack and take you down. Bullshit. That is an absolute fabrication. And what kind of weasel would go on a video and sit there and target a woman the way he did and claim that I extorted him and that I blackmailed him for his opinion, okay, and pull this kind of shit and try and pull the wool over all of these people's eyes, use people, manipulate people, try and take advantage of people, try and take advantage of these women out here who supported him. I don't know how many times I've seen other women out there talking about how, well, he attacked me for this, he attacked me for that. I've seen Rock Pearl say things about how shitty he was to her. I think there's a Sandra Cook who, he was really shitty with her. I mean, I've seen so many people out there who've made comments publicly saying, yeah, I've experienced this too. And for him to go out there and make that video the other day, this is why I'm here. This is the only reason why I'm here. This isn't because I'm here and I get some sort of freaking thrill about this, because I don't. I would have much rather been here tonight talking about Vegas information, talking about some of the investigation pieces that are still out there that need to be shared. I would much rather be spending my time doing that, because there's a lot to talk about. But I got to be sitting here doing this because at this point, with the doxing, with I'm in Howie's video, and Howie's talking about KL's and effing CUNT, and farmers out there talking about Ten said that KL said that there were bodies brought in cold storage. And then, the icing on the cake is, I've got a video out there saying I'm blackmailing somebody. I don't feel like I had a choice. So all you people in the comments right now that I've seen here and there saying, just drop the drama, I'm trying to, okay? This is me dropping the drama. This is me dropping the drama and saying, knock the shit off. I'm done. I just cannot stand this shit anymore. Let's get back to where we're supposed to be. But some of you don't belong here at all. And
so I think, in essence, he multiplied himself, or his agenda, to get his agenda out there through other creators by manipulating them. And that's the point. And that's the reason we're here. It is not some small little simple, oh, he told one lie thing. It is that he used all of us in some way to further his agenda for whatever reason, and just feed his ego, constantly 24/7. If somebody's talking about 1005 or D James or whatever, like I said before, to him, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. If somebody's talking about him, he's good with that.
Mm-hmm.
He's good with that. And all the keeping track of, there is not another creator out there that I have heard within this community that talks about the amount of subs, the amount of comments, the amount of views per video on his own stuff, and he would track that on other people's stuff. Keeping score all the time. Who does that?
Yes.
I haven't heard anybody else do that. And those are the things that have gotten him to this point. The way he's treated you, the way he's treated me, the way he's treated all of us. So I don't.
I have some screenshots where I could have, put some of those examples in here, but I is overkill for me. I don't see the point. He's out there talking about, how Doug Pop is watching his videos and how his content's spot on, and I've got 60,000 views, and I've got this, and I help that, and I do want to say too, part of the reason why this was such an irritation for me also, Jersey Steve. I don't know who's out there that remembers Jersey Steve.
He was Jersey Steve.
He was a good guy.
He was.
Still is a good guy. He's just staying away from this mess, and Jersey Steve used to express incredible frustration. And I'm sorry, Jersey Steve, if you ever listen to this. But I think that he'd be okay with me saying it. I mean, he was so frustrated that, that D James, took it upon himself to act like he made him, I mean, if I wanted to, I've got a lot of information on that too, but I'm not going to share that stuff. But he was very frustrated. I mean, he would, talk about, there was Hangman 1128, I think it was. I can't remember. It's been so long. What was the low rider?
7 Mile Rider.
7 Mile Rider. That's right. Yeah. And he kind of grouped those guys into together. I think he did it with. He might have even done it with bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he gave them the content. I mean, he would make it seem like he gave them the content, or he found this, and so I gave it to them to make a video. It just never ended. I mean, the chauvinism, the egotistical bullshit, take my direction or else. And what happened, okay, I'm kind of jumping ahead of myself here, but we're about to show, we're jumping months ahead here, because I didn't subscribe to the 1005 channel. I stayed away from it. I would get sent links, or, I'd get sent information on it. I'd look here and there, but I just tried to stay away from him for months. And,
Bernie.
And I didn't want any part of it. But then, as of recently, and I am going to talk about some other things here in a second, but, I got involved in a group. I had stayed away from groups for a long time. I had gotten into a group over the summer months that kind of evolved over time, and there was some discussion in there. And these were people that I spent, hours upon hours on the phone with for 5, 6, 7 days a week. I sometimes talk to them more than I talk to my own family. And I did share information with them on my experiences over time. I mean, we all shared stories. We all talked about things that had occurred. It wasn't a central focus for the group. It was something that we talked about, and that was it. One of the people that was in the group was CL, and she was still one of my good friends. She knew everything that occurred. She'd had her own experiences, and she knew all of it. She knew. Okay. But it was something that was in the back of my mind. I mean, it wasn't the forefront. It wasn't my focus. I put it all behind me. I left it, where I felt like it needed to be. And then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, it seems like, things just started festering, started popping up there, things that people were starting to talk behind the scenes. There were concerns, there were issues, there were questions. And from what I understand, and I don't know all of it because, I've been, Howie's been accused. There was a video made about him today, which was a bullshit video. And, Howie was accused or not accused, but lumped in with with the group. I guess that's be my group. I don't know exactly who's in it. Lumped in with the group and he was being used and all this. I've talked to Howie one time on the phone, and that was the night before he went on the live with on Truth Bomb's channel. And I was involved in that because I was supposed to be a mod, and I backed out. I said I didn't want to do it because there was just too much shit going on at the time. But I talked to him one time, and I've talked to Farmers for Truth one time, same time. It was the same phone call, as a matter of fact. It was a group phone call that we had the night before the live. Howie's not in any damn group with me, okay? Just because I exchanged some comments here and there, with Howie. So what happened to Howie is separate from me. What happened to Farmers Truth is separate from me. It did not have anything to do with me, and it did not have anything to do with my information that I had for over a year. As you can tell, there was kind of a buzz going on because people started researching on their own. They were catching on. They were catching on to the bullshit. They were catching on to the lies. They were catching on to something's not right here. I want to know what's going on. And they did their own investigation. And even Paladin, who, yes, I talk to on a regular basis. Yes, we research things together. Yes, we talk a lot. Absolutely. I still did not send the information to Paladin that I had. Did he know about it? Yes, after a period of time, yes, he knew. Not everything. I talked about it in general terms. I didn't go into great detail about it. I just explained, why I had a problem with him. And then it was behind us. Okay. But then, there were videos being made by 1005 that, really got under people's skin. There were things that were occurring or being said, or phone calls being made. Have I witnessed them? No, because, I never talked to the guy on the phone, even though he's trying to say that he talked to me. And I said that there was 20 bodies taken from Oregon in cold storage. Complete bullshit. Never said that in my life. And I'm going to explain that cold storage thing in a minute. But I've never talked to him, so, he's never called me, but I've heard from multiple people how he calls them over and over and over. I've been on the phone with Truth Bomb when the guy has called on the other line probably 10, 15 times in a row, just calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. So, when I'm listening to Farmers for Truth the other night, and he and his wife are sitting there explaining what they're experiencing, I'm going, Lord Almighty, it's just, he's playing the same game with people. He's pulling the same shit with people. And they finally caught on. And got sick of it. And so that's what happened, then Howie decides he's going to go out and he's going to make a video about it because, that's how he just is kind of an open book, I suppose. One day the page is black and the next day the page is white. And that's just the way it is. And that's cool, whatever, but he just wanted to express himself and his frustration, and he felt like he had been manipulated. And so he goes out there and makes a video about it, and all hell breaks loose at that point because, Howie, voiced his opinion. And then everybody else started to realize, holy shit, this is a problem. This is happening. And so, people started doing their own investigation. And I know personally that what sent Truth Bomb over the edge, and, he's one of my very good friends. That is an absolute truth, and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about it. Okay. He knew from being in the group, in that small group that I was in, he knew what had occurred. He knew that there were some things that had happened. As far as I knew, for a long time, he did not hold that against D. James or, 10. He still talked to him here and there, and then he got crazy on him, called him all the time, started saying a bunch of crazy crap, sending weird emails to him, all that. But what sent Truth Bomb over the edge was his FU video. And, I don't want to hear the bullshit from people, in comments who want to sit here and say, oh, who cares? He has the right to his opinion. He has the right to sit there and say that. Well, I'm going to say, if anybody's going to sit there and say that they would have put up with that shit, somebody standing right in their face saying, FU, you guys don't have a brain in your heads. That's the kind of crap that he used to pull with me, but it was on the sly. Okay. I don't know why anybody would sit there and defend what happened in that video that day. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Indefensible. It's indefensible.
It is. It is. You do not have a right to sit here and talk to a community that has supported your ass, for months, who's supported your investigation, who listens to what you have to say, who wants to, sit here and be in your lives and exchange comments and exchange ideas and be respectful to you. And then you turn around and you targeted every single one of your viewers while you're sitting there saying that, F you, not, you goddamn dumbasses. I mean, it was just awful. It was awful.
And KL, even in his latest few videos, well, not the barbershop one today, but even now at this point, he is talking about, of course, he's talking about himself and how much work he's done, and he's looked at everything, and then he says something to the effect of, what I know and what I talk about basically is over all your heads. Like, again, like calling us all dumb. I mean, still just being so pompous and condescending and just, makes you want to punch him in the throat,
Right, right.
And that's not a threat. Who
wants to be talked to like that?
It's just like, don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to the people in the community like that. Like, you're above all of us. Like, he's above all of us. He's smarter than all of us. He knows more than all of us. And we're just some little peons, out here just flailing around trying to do an investigation. And, we're not doing shit right because you rule something in, you rule it out. I rule it in, I rule it out. Give me a break. It just gets to the point where it's like, seriously, I cannot take another minute of this bullshit.
And that's happened a lot. I mean, that, those little comments have been slipped into his videos a lot where most of you won't be able to understand this, or, half of you out there won't be able to get this.
Or 99% of you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yes. But for Truth Bomb, it was the FU video, and he, and I said to him when that happened, well, I told you so. I mean, what do you want me to say? I don't know what you want me to say, but yeah, it's a problem. Okay, so I just want to clarify, all right, as I'm being...
Can I interrupt?
Yeah,
go ahead, TV.
What's up, guys? How the hell am I supposed to follow this? I'm not last. I'm not going, I don't think. But look, I don't know. I know a few people from this community, Mr. B, Blake, a few people down my way. I'm sorry, but when you say fuck you to us, that's not something we take lightly. And sorry about the cursing on your channel, Nene, but...
I've never done that.
Yeah, I watched. we don't take that lightly, and that she's right. That is what pushed me over the edge. Even though multiple people, not KL or farmers or anybody, no one, I've heard stories about Tim, but I gave him every benefit of the doubt. I did. And when that came out, I was like, are you kidding me right now? And we got in a little bit of argument going on in the comments, and he was reading off. Of course, I have no voice, so I made the video that I did make, and I made it. And believe it or not, and no one knows this, there's a few people that know this. Farmers for Truth is one. He backed me up, KL. I sit on that video for 2 weeks before I released it. Well, maybe it wasn't 2 weeks, a week to 2 weeks before I released it, because I was like, well, you know, maybe I give him the benefit of the doubt. But no, he just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I said, the hell with it. So just wanted to throw that in there on that conversation, and you guys can get back to it.
I appreciate that, TB. I know, I mean, that wasn't something that you wanted to do, but I guess you had gotten to that point. And I remember the day of his FU video, or it was a live stream, I think.
Yes,
and I was at work, so I couldn't have my volume up, so I had no audio. But I was watching the chat, and I could tell something was going on, and I knew I couldn't jump into the chat because I had no audio, so I really didn't know what was going on. But I heard about it later, and it's just disgraceful. I mean, it's insulting, it's disrespectful, and it's just not the behavior of a good, genuine person that's trying to further this investigation and be a part of this community. I mean, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect. Obviously, I'm not perfect. We all have our shortcomings, but most of us, when we make a mistake, can say, look, I made a mistake and I'm sorry, and actually be sincere about it. And there's another difference, because he's apologized here and there, but it's so disingenuous. I mean, why waste your breath? Because it's not sincere, because in his mind, he still thinks he's right, and he's the greatest, and he's the best, and he's the smartest. So if people are waiting for an apology from him, that's fine. He may even give us one, but I can tell you, it will not be sincere. So I would say to him,
we're about to talk about apologies here in a minute.
Stick your apology up your ass, because I don't even want one. The only thing, the apology that I could accept, is if he just walked away. Just get out of this community, go do your thing. If you're into politics, whatever. Nobody will bother you. Just please depart from our community. That would be an apology to me. But
okay, well, speaking of apologies, you know, if you go to the the one that says the beginning of the end, another.
Haha, got that one. There's a little delay. Okay,
these are totally out of order because I stepped away from all this crap today, and I spent the most of the day with my family. I didn't want to be thinking about all this, so I did put some of this together at the last minute, and then I had to redo it because I wanted to make sure that I could catch that that metadata that's at the bottom of the screen, which I don't think you're showing on here, but
I'm trying to show.
Okay. Every single one of these screenshots will have the screenshot when it was taken at the bottom. So I had a conversation that occurred, and it was actually on 2 different videos at the same time. I don't know if you guys remember the channel that popped up there for a while and then disappeared, called the Church Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure who the Church Committee was, but they made look like magazine covers. I think they only did 2 or 3. I'm not sure. But they were out there in comments, and we were exchanging comments on one video, and they somehow misconstrued something I was saying, and thought I was being rude to them, or something. And so they went over to, I believe it was their own video, and went to talk to 10 about when it is appropriate to use the C word towards a woman. Okay. Now, I honestly cannot remember how. I think I saw, or I went to look. What I did was I went to go and look at at their channel, this church committee. I went to go and look at their channel, and lo and behold, there they are. I knew they were talking about me. The comment was brand new, and they had left some, stupid comment where they misunderstood me. So I called them out for it. I'm like, oh, I hope, is the C word you're talking about? Are you referring to me, asshole? So they were like, oh my God, KL, you're totally legit. How'd you know I was over here talking about you, right? And you can see that in the notifications. It's like KL legit, LOL. So these are kind of out of order, but they were over there talking to 10 because 10 had commented on their video about something. And so when, they asked him about, when is it appropriate to use the C word, 10 made a comment. I'm trying to find it here. Where he said, I was the one that raised her anger, saying she needed a spanking. I didn't say her name in video long time ago. I apologize to her. She still holds bitterness, I suppose. I cannot control that. Remove the comment about her in this one, sir, please. I'm not an angry man. I just tried to look at the crime. Well, I saw that, obviously. He didn't realize I was going to see that so soon. So I responded and I said, I hold no bitterness about a damn thing, 10. And this is December 22nd, 2018, by the way. And you and I both know your comments were well beyond one mishap on a spanking. I strongly suggest for you and I to maintain civility, which is what I prefer. That the innocent enough spank story find a permanent bed and lay in it. And if it does, we are cool. No bitterness and no further discussion on it. Okay, that's what I said. December 22nd, 2018 was a Sunday. Well, 10 came back and said, KL, in my heart of hearts, that was the biggest and worst mistake I ever made trying to investigate. I had daily, KL, so many attacks with only a phone call could I detail. He wanted me to call him. Texting cannot explain. I sincerely, above all hope, you know that, and the stress. You may not comprehend that in only a text. Sincerely, respectfully, and more, much more, again, I fully understand it may never be enough. I apologize, and it was way out of character for me. I'd love to speak to you. And then left his email, baldfacedhornet@protonmail.com, for a phone number.
Can you hold on? Let this catch up with you here real quick.
Yeah.
Because I think this is important. So, for sure, I remember Howie referencing Bald-Faced Hornet, but I don't think 10 had ever communicated with Howie through Bald-Faced Hornet, because from what I can remember, when Howie kind of broke the whole 10 thing, was they were talking about that three-way call with Justice for Who and blah, blah, blah. And then I can remember Howie saying, and then all of a sudden, I get this email from Bald-Faced Hornet. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And for sure, Bald-Faced Hornet is 10, no doubt about that. And there's been many people in this community that he's communicated with through the Bald-Faced Hornet account. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But now,
well, he says Bald-Faced Hornet too on the email today, or on the video today.
Yes,
Howie.
he did. Mm-hmm.
But my point here is, I mean, I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but after I hear, this video made about me the other day, where I, extorted him, I blackmailed him, and
just ridiculous.
He's free. He's free to tell the truth now, and all, and I'm thinking, dude, just a couple months ago, you're out there freaking begging me to accept your apology for the bullshit you pulled on me, right? I mean, this message here certainly doesn't sound like somebody who was extorted, right? And would have anger towards me, I would guess, you know? I mean, there's it taking full responsibility here in this comment, which, you know, I was willing to accept and move on. I didn't want to talk about this shit anymore. And as a matter of fact, that's when I started participating in his live streams. And I don't know how many in the comments are gonna, you know, be able to remember this, but it happened shortly after this comment was made on December 22nd. You know, there were a lot of live streams occurring with 10. And there was one in particular where I was in there. I know Paladin was in there. Truth Bomb may have been in there. I'm not sure, but he, you know, he was talking about a lot of different things, and he specifically said in his live stream, you know, KL, I'm going to ask you this. You know, please answer this question for me. I'm going to ask you because I trust you. I trust you. I know you're going to tell me, you know, you're going to answer this and tell me the truth. And, you know, now these are the things this man is saying. I mean, what? It's March. You know, this happened between December, January sometime. You know, I trust you. I trust you. And now we're to the point where I'm being blamed for extorting him, and he's going to go out there and make videos about me, you know, falsely accusing me of trying to blackmail him and extort him. It's amazing how this wheel has gone back around. You know, the parade never ends. It continues and continues with this. But my point in showing this is the fact that, you know, obviously I'm saying out there, right there, you know, damn well, it was more than just a spanking comment. And, you know, put it to bed. Quit saying that all you'd said was, you know, that you were going to give me a spanking. Knock that shit off. Okay. And we're cool. Just drop it. Right. I mean, that is what I'm out there saying to him right there for all the world to see. That's what I said. I just wanted him to knock that off and we could be cool. You know, there's no problems here. So, now since then, I'm not exactly sure how I got in the mix, other than the fact that he knew, you know, based on that one question that I asked how many months ago, he knew that I had, you know, some personal information about him.
About Miss
But at this point, yes, at this point, he had to have known. He had to have known that that other people had, you know, had this information as well. He had to have known that other people had some personal information about him. But I got thrown under the bus. I got thrown under the bus for, you know, the demise of 10. And, you know, I think that people could attest to the fact that they just did their own investigation. They started looking around themselves. Not to mention that he also, you know, he had meltdowns on people that were long-term supporters of him. I mean, completely committed to him, that he turned on and he degraded and just tore apart. And, you know, that little circle of supporters that he had started to, you know, realize that he's not anything like the person that he tried to portray himself to be. And they were hurt, and they were, you know, they felt jilted, they felt anger. And, you know, from what I gather, they, you know, people just got sick of it. They got sick and tired of his bullshit. So I'm here to tell you right now, this had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with his own actions, his own activity, his own little games is why we're here where we are today.
Right. Now,
after that video was made the other day, I get some text messages from Mr. Burgundy, you know, who I don't talk to anymore. And my falling out with Mr. Burgundy had nothing to do with any of this bullshit. And honestly, my falling out with Mr. Burgundy had a lot to do with supporting my friendship with a friend who seemed to feel like, she was lied to by him, on several occasions, that she was betrayed. She felt that he betrayed her trust. Not really going to get into that, but I just felt enough's enough. I saw too many, the turmoils were too much. And he and I had some words about the shot spotter equipment, which, I could prove that I was right on that too, but I'm not interested in doing that right now. He reached out to me after he heard the video, and, and he said, he wanted to know if I had proof of these emails being tens. And I don't know how you could prove that somebody's email is, I guess someone could send an email out and sign it, D James or 10 or whatever. I don't know how you could actually prove, unless you had some sort of software or, some sort of technology to be able to prove that that person typed that email in that place at that time. I really don't know how that could, where it's 100% proof. But the fact is, you've seen there's some writing styles that we'll point out in the video that, where you see these the backward or the forward slashes, the parentheses. The patterns of speech in these emails where, you can see based on some of the information that's in correspondence that is his versus correspondence that you're trying to refer to. It's the same person. You can tell that. And I guess Mr. Burgundy did some of his own research on that and compared 6 items of information that he had, and he felt that 10 had crossed a legal line with him in an email, and he wanted to try and prove that it was him. Now, if y'all recall, after Howie did his video, one of the things that shut that down right away is that there was an impression in the community that that Burgundy and Mike Turber, 5x5, had confirmed, quote unquote, that was not 10 who was Justice for Who. I suppose we have to touch on Justice for Who for a little bit too, but I'll do that in a second. But they had confirmed it wasn't Justice for Who, and so that means that wasn't Active Soul, that he wasn't Active Soul either, and that he didn't have these accounts, right? So I get these text messages from Burgundy after that video came out, and and he did say that I could share any information that I needed to share. I'm hoping that that he will, speak for himself in this particular situation, because I think it's very important that occur, because there was a consensus, so to speak, that that there was that he and Mike Turber had gone out and basically confirmed that this can't be 10, and that was his validation. So I get text messages, which I am going to put in the video, and we do have screenshots of here, where I received it. That was this past Thursday. I got a contact from him, just saying, hey, all our shit aside, I've been saying Active Soul 71 is 10 for a long time. Mike T says otherwise, but I don't really care. I'm convinced. Active Soul crossed the line with me in emails, the legal line. Then he asked if I had 100% proof. Jen, I don't know if you want to put these on the...
Yep, I got it. Getting it.
So I guess, they looked into this, and they were, from what I understand, they'd narrowed it down to 2 different people. And I don't really know that it's fair that this other person's name get put out there, but I don't even know if this person participates on YouTube, to be honest with you. I've seen this name on Facebook, but I have not seen it on YouTube. So he was saying there was another guy that could be, that could fit, and he wants to know legally if it's truly him. I asked him how he crossed the line legally, and he said too much just text. If you want to explain, call. If you want me to explain, call. So we talked about calling each other. I didn't get a chance to call until the next day. But he says right in here, and for the record, he has not been, quote, cleared. This is just what the front is. The fucker is more evil than you realize. Well, I would back you on that. No one can call that collusion, LOL, because I said I'm still getting blamed for it coming up now. Because he said, I think it's a bit funny how 10 is being talked about now when you and I knew he was up to no good a year ago. Okay. And I said, I'm still getting blamed for it coming up now. And he's like, well, I would back you on that. No one can call that collusion, LOL. He meant because we don't talk. You know, I mean, if we're going to agree on something, it's going to be the truth.
And I think hasn't 10, I mean, 10 and maybe possibly other people have been out there saying, well, Turber and Burgundy cleared him of being justice for who, like flat out, no way. And
Burgundy says, you know, that his comment on that video said that I'm honestly drawing a blank. It wasn't it wasn't saying you're cleared. It was this is off the table. It's not something we're talking about, something like that. I don't know.
I think 10, you know.
Yeah, he claimed that he was cleared of any wrongdoing. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then I said, no, not more than I realize. I know, I've known for a while. But why? And I said, why did you vouch for him then? And he said, who said I vouched for him? And I said, you left a comment on his video when Howie started to blow him up. And he said, yep, I left a comment saying that I've gotten to the bottom of everything basically, and it's old news. I never said I didn't think it was Active Soul, or he was Active Soul. And then he said, Mike and I scared the living shit out of him, and he started to sing like a canary. Don't fool yourself. He doesn't have any friends. And I said, I know, but why cover him? What did he do for you? And he said, I'm not covering for him. I was just making sure he didn't cut off communications. He fucked with me once and I let it go. Now that he fucked with me twice, if I can prove it, I'm going to nail him. And he said, you don't know the whole story because I haven't told anybody. Then he said, you have to remember Justice for Who was going after me really hard. Once Howie gave me the proof that Justice for Who was Active Soul, that's when I had to go quiet about things. And I said, I know the game. He's not doing it alone. And I meant 10. I don't feel like he's doing this alone. And then he said, I have a ton of circumstantial evidence, but all three people are the same person. I just need 100% proof that Active Soul is Daryl. That's when I'll go live and I'll show everybody what I know. Well, and that's what I'm worried about, because I said he's not doing it alone. And he said, do you know the name John Workus? Now, that's the name. I do know the name, but I've never seen it on Facebook or on YouTube.
I have seen that name on YouTube. Now, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Well, but I'm going to tell you, I don't know who that guy is, and I will tell you the ring in the hole here, or whatever you want to call it, is that Justice for Who, because Justice for Who did go out there and just tear the shit out of Burgundy online or on YouTube comments. Justice for Who, however, would follow me in comments. I mean, I'd get a comment from Justice for Who that was from, a comment that I left that was 4 or 5, 6 months ago. And Justice for Who would go out there and comment, and I'd be like, who the hell is this? And I'm going to tell you how I came across Justice for Who in a minute, but I don't know John Workus, so I don't know why John Workus would do that to me. I've never even he was in Facebook groups for Vegas that I removed myself from. So I just don't see why this Justice for Who would have gone out and made the effort that they did to talk to me, because they did. But I'll go into further detail on that in a minute. But then he spells his name a couple different ways. Then he's like, Daryl's problem is he drinks too much and doesn't remember what he says. Then he said, is it true that Daryl called Randall 30 times a night? And he called a lot. And and I talked about the emails, because the Paladin emails that he received, I mean, oh my God. He'd wake up to, a completely jam-packed, email, because there were so many emails from either Active Soul or Tropical Blue. and a lot of kale in those emails.
And let me put something in about the Active Soul Tropical Blue thing. In somebody, when I'm going to say it, when 10 was emailing another creator as Tropical Blue 17 or whatever, he references that he, quote unquote, he, meaning either D. James or 1005, actually featured Nene on his channel, and she, oh my gosh, why can't I ever think of that word? It's not dissed, but oh crap. Oh, I don't know why I can never think of the word. Snubbed him basically. And then, so Tropical Blue 17 goes on to say, I contacted her a while back, and goes into this Mary Lou thing at the airport and blah, 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 blah. Well, again, Tropical Blue 17 or 17, I never had any emails from him. I got a shit ton of emails from Active Soul 71. So Tropical Blue and Active Soul are the same person. And who else in the world, in this universe, ever kept track of who D. James or 1005 featured on their channel? Who would be the one person that would keep track of that? Daryl James. It was hit. I mean, so I was like, boom, for me, that was, I had already thought I knew what I knew, but that was the clincher. That was the clincher. So he's Tropical Blue, emailing us Tropical Blue, basically saying that he has contacted me, meaning Active Soul was the only one that ever contacted me, and he knew that D. James had featured me on his channel.
Yeah.
That's D. James.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then we talk about his mental state, which I don't think we go in detail about that. We all know what we're dealing with here.
Right.
But then well, crap. You're going to have to, oh, here we go. I got it. So then now I want to talk about something in particular while we've got these screenshots up. But, so he's saying, I said it wasn't him. I said it wasn't this John Workus, because I don't see how the correlation with myself, Justice for Who, and Burgundy would have anything to do with someone I've never even exchanged a word with, right? I mean, never. Just does not make any sense.
Right.
And they knew things. I mean, they knew things about the investigation, and they knew things that at the time that this Justice for Who had popped up on the scene that I didn't want people to know about. And I'm going to explain all that along with this, with a few other things in a second. But it was the My Lady Justice channel. And they, it was in a Brian Eskew live that Justice for Who popped up for me anyway, popped up for me, and started saying beep beep and referencing me. Okay, now the beep beep was from a video that I did on My Lady Justice channel. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct that, just so everybody knows. That fucking Truth Bomb helped me with, okay? Yeah, he has the software. I tell him freaking frame by frame what the hell he's supposed to be putting in my videos, and he puts it together. Is that crime? No, it isn't. So shut the fuck up, okay?
Yeah, I wish you'd do that for me.
Honestly,
my life would be much easier.
My last two videos, one I didn't publish. Truth Seeker knows what the last video I did, which was just a joke.
Yeah,
but my one before that, my heart-filled one, I did on my own, and it was, oh my gosh, a pain in the ass. I'm not a techie person, okay? But so shove it up your ass about that, all right? Anyway, so I did the video with the They Live movie, and I put in an Odd Reality song, and it has beep beep, the alarm's going off, beep beep. So I'm going, who the hell is this Justice for Who person, that's saying this to, I mean, I had zero clue, and I don't remember when exactly that was. I mean, obviously it was when Brian was still around because it was in one of his lives. Okay. That this Justice for Who pops up, starts saying this about, and knew that I was Lady Justice, and I'm going, who the hell is this? But they also knew things about, just a lot of things. I mean, I can't even really tell you right now what I mean by knowing things, but they knew a lot of things. They knew a lot about the investigation. It wasn't like somebody new on the scene. It was, maybe we'll play it at the end, Truth Seeker. But it was very bizarre to me. I was beyond perplexed as to who this was. I truly had no clue. And I proved that to CL because that was a big deal when there was all, this comment thread that had happened on one of Truth Bomb's videos where this Justice for Who was going around talking about gang banging cakes, or I don't know what. I mean, it just, the conversation in this thread got completely out of control. And this Justice for Who was out there saying all kinds of crap about gang banging cakes or something like that. And Truth Bomb and I got the rap for that, because apparently, because there was a comment exchange, we knew who this person was, right? We knew who this Justice for Who was because there was a comment exchange. I proved, because I sent CL proof way back before this conversation even happened on this thread. I had been talking to Paladin in Skype, and had been asking, Truth Bomb, who the hell is this Justice for Who? My conversation was dated. You could see when I'm having this conversation where you could tell I had no clue who this person was, right? But did I talk to them? Did I make comments back to them when they would comment to me? Yes, as you have displayed on your community page, Secret Safe with You, like it's a one big fucking mystery or something. I mean, everybody talks to everybody, but I guess because I exchanged comments with this person, that makes me guilty of something for some reason, right? All right, I'm bringing that up for a reason because, part of the reason why I guess they were upset about it is because of this whole exchange about CL. But if we go on with these text messages here with Burgundy, and he talks about how he has all the circumstantial evidence he needs, just needs something to tie it all together, and that's when I'll blow his ass up in a video or going live. And he just wanted 100% proof, and Burgundy likes 100% proof, which,
That's hard to come by in a situation.
Stop hiding behind the 100% proof because
Right.
you're not going to get it. And with everything that you've researched, and you're pretty good at research, that he is active soul. You knew it. Okay. Right. You know that. So we go on to talk about that. And I said, what would be 100% proof? Why did Mike ask you to go and smooth it over for him in the comments? Meaning, why did you go out and smooth it over for 10 in the comments? So he's like, something that links Daryl to active soul beyond a shadow of a doubt. I don't know what you mean by Mike asking me to smooth things over. And then he wants me to call him. So I said, I call him later. And then I said, he has a twin brother, right? We're talking about 10. He's like, yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how you have this weird misconception that I'm somehow on Daryl's side. Hell, I was one of the first to break things off of him, with him. And you might have been the first. Diana X has not believed me for a year now, but she realizes I've been right all along, which I'm thinking, I'll get into that. Never mind.
Hey, KL, can I interrupt?
Yeah, go ahead.
Going back to the whole Secret Safe with You thing, now that he's retracted his message and I can't why the hell do you retract messages? What the Anyway, I read it before, so we'll say it again. All right, so I have apologized for this comment thread on 3 separate occasions and 3 different lives. But I still do not live it down today. Did I let the message thread go? Yes. Was I pissed off that night? Yes, I was. I have also apologized 3 different times. So here, you want a 4th one? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, CL, that I let that message thread go on.
Oh my God, knock it off with the apologies already.
I mean,
You can't be responsible for everything that everyone else says on your videos. Enough is enough, because I'm going to go on with this message, okay?
Well,
Now let me finish. No.
Fuck
You
him.
guys, just
Okay,
let me
guys.
finish. Stop. Seriously.
Thank you, PB.
Here it is.
We get it.
I said none of you assholes wanted to listen to me. I told you all how dangerous and warped he was. And now you have Todd out there acting like they are kin or something. And your comment on the video made people doubt the whole thing. He says right here, I'm not sure what Todd, and I'm sorry, Todd, you know, your name's already been out there, but it's in text here and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not sure what Todd is doing, to be honest. He seems like this drama bullshit. He seems to like this drama bullshit. I sent him all my work showing that Daryl is active soul and Justice for Who about 3 months ago. What? You will understand more from my side once I explain the timeline to you and how it all went down. Okay. So I am sitting here thinking, why? Why are you going out and making videos, you know, making comments, going out there on this extortion comment, you know, video, when, you know, Secret Safe with You was one of the people that I talked to for, you know, hours a day, for days on end, and knew me, knew what I, you know, what I'm, you know, did we evolve in this group as to what our beliefs were and what, you know, what we think happened in Vegas? And, you know, did we talk about a drill for months? Yes, we did. You know, did we talk about many different things? Did we talk about, you know, my experience with 10 in that group? Yes, we did. Did CL know all about it? Yes, she did. You know, and you knew who we were, you know, and what was the, you know, the demise of the group is when I decided that I needed to take a really close look at the Melissa Ramirez video. That was the demise of the group. And I was told, you know, after our group broke up that, you know, that was why CL decided she couldn't be friends with me anymore. And that is in a comment that's public out there on one of Paladin's videos, which is fine. You know, that's fine. I get it. But I have to follow my heart, and I have to follow what I see, and I have to follow what I believe. And that's what I did. That's all I did. That doesn't make me an evil person.
And
but I also am.
You were not targeting anybody. You
Never.
were just looking at something that you wanted to figure out and get some answers on. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't to target anybody.
No. I mean, you know, who was I targeting? I'm looking at it with people that I thought were my good friends, you know, that we were in this together. You know, that's really what I thought. And so then, you know, there's this evolution of things that occur, you know, and our group broke up in October. You know, then this Justice for Who comes on the scene a month and a half later or whatever. And all of this, you know, all of this friction and tension and Yahoo shit going on about the who's this Justice for Who and why are they saying this, and, you know, where are these comments coming from? You know, Truth Bomb puts out a video and there's this huge comment thread on it that shit just goes left like crazy. I mean, there were so many comments on there, it was nuts. And it's this Justice for Who talking about CL, and they were, you know, horrible comments, not nice comments, you know, at all. And, you know, then TB gets the rap for it because it was on his video and he let the thread go and all this. And, you know, and then there's, you know, there are continuous comments about Justice for Who, you know, posted on the community page of Secret Safe with You, all these things that occur. And here I find out this past week, you know, that all of this evidence that, you know, that, I mean, obviously Burgundy feels really strongly about, you know, this being D. James. And here I find out he sent all this information to Secret Safe with You like 3 months ago. And this is this is the shit that's still happening from what I understand, even in the freaking thread tonight.
Right.
I mean, what
but
kind
yet
of bullshit
today,
are you guys
Secret
pulling
Safe
here?
with You is still questioning and still wanting more evidence and blah 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 and putting comments in and then retracting them. And I just find it ridiculous. I find it insulting. And I used to I never communicated with Secret Safe with You, only through comments between his videos, my videos, whatever. And I said last night in NServe's live in the chat, because Secret Safe with You was doing his thing, that, you know what, I used to really respect you, your work, but now I have zero respect, because if you can't figure this one out, then I can't respect that. And you just keep you're adding more fuel to the fire too. Because anytime anything comes up about certain, like one or two certain subjects, that's the only time you see him. That's the only time he jumps in. Other than that, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he's certainly not investigating anything in Vegas anymore. It's all about a couple little things, about 10 and about CL, and that's the only time you're going to hear from him. And I'm sorry, I don't have respect for that, and I can't have respect for that. So whatever is going on with him is that it is what it is, but the respect is gone. And I really used to enjoy his videos, and I really thought, man, he does good work. And I didn't know him as a person, but just from what I could see from his videos, I was like, he's a cool dude. But obviously my opinion about that, he has changed my opinion about that over these last months. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
Sorry. No, I understand how you feel. Because I'm telling you, I mean, I was blown away for a while, you know, because I mean, this is a person that I talk to all the time, and I didn't understand. I honestly did not understand what I did that was so damn horrible, you know, that I turned out to be this I mean, it's like he has pure hatred for me now.
Mm-hmm.
And all I've done is be honest. I mean, and that's all I've done is be honest to what I see and what I think. I've never accused, you know, him or CL of anything. It's just, you know, it's very telling to me. You know, it's very telling because I don't understand, you know, the deep reaction. And then I find out, you know, that there was this one topic who seems to be all fingers point to the person that you're out there trying to defend. You're one of the only people they're out there trying to defend. And you've known for months that, you know, it's more than likely him based on the information that was sent to you. Now, granted, I don't know what the information was that was sent to him. I didn't see Burgundy's information. But if it was enough for him, you know, to feel so strongly that, you know, that this all points to 10, I mean, I'm going to say I have to believe it was probably pretty solid information, you know? And then to find out he had it the whole time.
Right. But still continues to this day.
Yeah, tonight even. Now I'll tell you, he's got me blocked. So I can't see. I don't know what he's saying, which is cool, and whatever.
It's his same rhetoric, same rhetoric, you know. Oh, well, can you show me proof? Can you show me, you know?
Yeah.
If you can't see it by now, then, you know, you're blind.
Listen, I'll tell you what, if there was as much circumstantial evidence out there that Stephen Paddock shot a gun as there is that 10 is all these damn people,
right?
You know,
then we would all feel like Stephen Paddock.
Hell yeah, we wouldn't have a reason to be here.
Right.
How about that? You know, I mean, it's just that's the fact. I mean, that is what it is. So, you know, so anyway, then Burgundy's comments continue because he told me about the new video that was put up, and that was the video saying that I extorted 10. I didn't know about the video right away. So he's saying, you know, he put up a new video, 100 to 1, he'll say my name. He got us both within 8 minutes. Damn, he's using your name. That is doxing no matter what he says. That was ugly. Can't wait to get back home and look at dates of email. He lied about Active Soul and was contacting me. before he was Active Soul, showed up to me once. I made contact with Daryl again after 8 months. And he's like, you could sue him for defamation. What am I going to get? You know, his retirement. He did send all of that shit to Mike, but Mike and I talked today and I verified it again. Nothing he provided was 100% proved he wasn't Active Soul. The bottom line is Mike went after Daryl and Marcus to find out if they were Active Soul. After he did that, Justice and Active Soul were gone. It is 100% one of these two guys. Mike would say that too. He does not have support or clearance from me or Mike. Okay? No clearance. The one defense that he had out there. I proved it. I
His
proved it.
only defense. And I'm trying to catch up with you here in these messages.
All right.
Okay, so hold on. Let me get. Okay. I think this says a lot. He does not have support or clearance from me or Mike. And that has been the few people, there have been a few people that still try to defend him. And that was one thing that was always brought up was, well, he was cleared of being Justice for who? He was cleared by Turber. He was cleared by Turber. I'm like, I don't think that's 100% correct. But if that's what you want to believe, then go ahead. And I believe Truth Seeker just within the last few days has stated the same thing in some live chats that no, they never said that. That's not what it was. They did not 100% say, oh, no way, this was not Justice for Who or Active Soul or anything. But again, because 10 took that and twisted it into what would benefit him the most, that's how it came out to the people that he was still in contact with and he was still manipulating.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that comes from.
Okay. Now there are other things I just wanted to touch on really quickly because I'm not going to have this bullshit coming up again. Don't make me do it. Don't make me go out there and make a video. Because there was a live, what was that? Yesterday, the day before, I can't remember. There was another channel who thought that he would, be cute, I guess, and go out there and act like he has some knowledge on this information, and he doesn't. And there was a reference to his live stream about something. This goes all the way back to Facebook. Now, this is the same person who had to go out there and make a public apology to me, less a month ago? Something like that, because he had that shit wrong too.
Right.
Okay. Now I have all of the conversation I had with his buddy Eddie, and I have the comments and the exchanges on some freaking pictures that he tried to say that I took from him that I'd posted in Jersey Steve's Facebook. That was, it was before I was even added in this freaking Facebook Messenger group that I didn't really even want to be in the first place, but I agreed to be in it because CL asked me to. Okay. And this was way back. I mean, it was over a year ago. I don't know exactly why he decided to get involved, but this has nothing to do with him. And if you want me to, man, I'll go ahead and put my pictures up here. I'll include my screenshots in here that completely proves that all of that was just horse shit. Okay. I don't know what this long message is that he referred to in his video that was like at the end of October or November or something. I never even talked to that kid until I was put in this group, and I barely talked to him then because I couldn't understand what they were talking about most of the time anyway. So I just want to address that. I don't want to do this again. I don't. But I'm not going to take anybody's shit anymore. Okay, so, just leave it at that. I will not do this unless I have to. But don't make me have to do this because I didn't play a part in whatever it is that happened in your group. And I have the proof of that. So just drop that shit. Seriously. I've had enough of these people going out and making videos or having lives and saying right in their title that they just want the drama to stop and let's all get back to Vegas, and then sit there and freaking drag out the drama.
Right.
I mean, it's just pathetic.
Well, how many times between D James, 10:05 p.m., 10:05 live, how many times did that guy say, "Oh, this is my last Vegas video. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done."
Yeah.
Well, please be done. He said that so many times. It was just ridiculous. And but these other people that really don't have anything to do with it, that again, probably more than likely, and I'm not excusing them, but are still being manipulated by this asshat.
Well, maybe they are, but keep my name out of your mouth.
I don't know. It's unnecessary, and I'm hoping, and my goal tonight is just let's get all this out on the table and shut this shit down. I mean, and with that one extortion video that he just did the other day about you, I was just livid. I mean, livid. It would be hard for me if I was in your position to just sit back and take that shit. So,
well, I've already done that. You know, I mean, the other accusations I've gone through, which was complete bullshit. You know, the ringer I got on other channels, you know, that knew nothing about me, you know, has never even had a conversation with me. I mean, it's amazing to me. And to me, you know, I think about the timing, because it seems like, you know, these issues always occur, you know, if there's a video that, you know, is put out on Lady Justice, or if I did a live with Paladin, or, you know, I put some information in a comment, or I did a live with the four of us, you know, and then all of a sudden this shit comes up. I mean, I don't know what the problem is, you know, because I'm just doing exactly what everybody else is here to do, right? I'm just here to investigate and share the information that I find. So why the hell do you guys have such a problem with me? You know, I do not go out there and cause drama. I do not go out there and cause issues for people. I do not go out there and falsely accuse people of anything. I don't take part in any of that.
I think you have, I mean, I think you've showed a lot of restraint through all of this. I really do. And I don't know if I could have done the same. I really don't. I mean, I know I had a live stream the other night, an impromptu live stream that I felt like I was going off the rails, but I was just like, I'm so over this bullshit. And I know that I'm breaking my own 24-hour rule, but that extortion video came out like the next day or 2 days later. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's maddening. It's maddening. And I don't want to be here doing this on a Saturday night. I would rather be doing some research or whatever. But again, I think this is necessary because there are so many people out there that had so many misconceptions just based off of the spin and the twist that this douchebag has put on everything, and has pitted channel against channel. And my God, just the little chess game he played with all of us, you know, all of us being his little chess pieces. You know, screw that. No, at the end of the day, all the pieces go back in the same box. He's no better than anybody else by far, by far. So it needs to be called out. It needs to get out. It needs to be aired out. And then we need to just let it go, because hopefully, and this is my hope, that he probably won't stop. It's not my hope that he doesn't stop. Forgive me. It's my hope that he stops, but it's my belief that he probably won't stop. But if we can do what we did tonight, have some supporting evidence for everything that you're saying, you're not just pulling this stuff out of your ass, that if he does do another video, who is going to believe the bullshit that comes out of his mouth? He could make 10 videos a day for the next year bashing you, and hopefully nobody will believe that bullshit.
Well, the people that do, I mean, you know, what's that say about them?
Right.
What does that say
Exactly.
about them? The
And-
people who want to watch that or subscribe to that, you know, then what's that say about them?
Right.
Because honestly, I
That's
don't
what
know
I was
what
gonna
else
say.
you could ask for here to show that the information that's being given over there is completely, totally false.
Right. Right. I mean, and to me, that those would be people that, you know, if they still want to, you know, hang around with him and or defend him, I don't wish to associate with those people at all, So they can do their thing. Just leave us be. I truly hope that the guy is not trustworthy. If his lips are moving, he's lying. Bottom line. Bottom line, whether it's about KL, whether it's about me, whether it's about anything regarding the shooting, Vegas, anything about the community stuff, it's just not viable information. It's just what he wants you to think, and whatever, you know, victim card he needs to play that day to make himself look better, and whatever's gonna, bottom line, he's gonna say and do whatever he thinks will benefit him the most. And that's all it is. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's always about him and getting his ego stroked and all that stuff. So if that's what you guys, you know, people are into, go for it. Be on his channel, watch all his stupid fucking videos. But it's not reality, and it's not the truth.
Yeah. You know, I'm just not going to go into, I feel like there is a deeper issue here, but I'm not going to go into that. I'm just saying, you know, I put this out there in public for a reason. You know, I want to make sure that as many people know about this as possible, because I'm tired. When you go out there and you put an extortion claim on somebody and that they're blackmailing them, it was time for me, you know, to get all of this out on the table, because, you know, I don't know what's at play here exactly. I don't know what the motivation is exactly, but I know it's pretty fucking twisted. That's what I do know. And I know that, you know, maybe there is a dangerous factor to it. I'm not sure. But I know that this is out there for the world to see. That's what I do know.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that it better stop with me. That's what I do know. I've just had enough. I've really had enough. Now, I do want to talk about a couple of other things really quick, because, you know, there was a common exchange. We've talked about cold storage a lot. And I don't know, Truth Bomb, if you can send that Imgur link that you have, you know, that kind of talks about that channel, because Jen, you had a live. I want to say it was either the first live you did or the second live that you did.
I think it was the first live.
Okay. And you were talking about, you know, let's talk about new stuff, and, you know, let's not talk about hash the same old stuff, right?
Right.
And I'm not gonna say what it is. That's your call. I mean, we've known about this for a long time. But I said in a joking way in that live, you know, let's talk about cold storage. Now, you know why I said that.
I do. I do.
And it has nothing to do with bringing freaking bodies from Oregon. Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. No.
And, you know, Dub was in that conversation. Dub, and, you know, and then we went to the.
Was in that. 10 was in that live. 10 was in the chat.
Yeah. And then we went to.
I think.
Yeah, we went to the JCP live afterwards, because he had posted a live that he didn't show up for I don't know how many times in a row. And
yeah, third or fourth.
So it was open and people were talking, and we talked about it in there too. We were making jokes, remember? Mm-hmm. And Dub was in that. Next thing you know, I don't remember how many days later it was, but it was within that same week. This channel pops up, cold storage, and starts commenting to Dub on some video, you know, saying something about, I don't remember if Truthbomb can send you the link to that imgur, it'll say, because all of a sudden a channel named Cold Storage pops up and it's like, oh, Dub, here, you know, here I am. You know, you wanted to talk about cold storage, here I am. And there's this comment exchange and Dub's like, basically he's like, you know, what the hell do you want, 10? You know,
Right. I think I have that. I'm gonna try to find it.
Okay, I think he just sent it. Now, this the timing here is interesting because this was like what, a month ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. You know,
Yeah,
it was not long ago.
I'd say.
Yeah, a month ago. So I'll wait until you. Geez, I do have an evil stare in my picture, don't I? Really look at that.
Let's see.
Winning.
Winning. Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. I do have a nice side. It does exist.
Nini, let me apologize to you for my last comments. I apologize for that.
For what?
I didn't mean to get upset.
Oh, you're fine. You know, I just won't invite you back on another live, you know. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, TB.
Well, I'll invite you to see what happens.
Okay, I think I have it, KL, so hold on here.
I'll show you pain in the ass.
Okay. Should be coming up. And I don't think I can make this bigger. Sorry, but
you can read it just fine. So cold storage pops up, you know, within a week or so of us having that conversation. I mean, I think it was a couple days or something.
yeah,
I mean,
it wasn't.
right
It
after.
was not long at all.
Yeah. So, you know, you the man, the freezer's behind the stage or behind the stage. That's what you told me in Foe. Said, come here. Forget the distraction and get on that video you sent Foe. They brought the bodies into the front of stage. # freezers. So Dub's like, look in the mirror and tell 10 you are a piece of shit. Try again, dumbass. Gotta love Dub. and then it goes on, I think.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it's coming up. Okay.
So Cold Storage says, Dub, I came over as you asked. The freezers is why. Dub says, at Cold Storage, 10 grew a new asshole and called it Cold Storage.
But that was one little fleeting, that whole thing evolved from one little fleeting comment in a live chat. And it was like.
Yes, it did. But then, okay, so then Cold Storage changed their name to, I think it was Bodies in the Freezer. Is that right? Is that in here too?
I don't know. But that February 24th is when Cold Storage started their channel. So obviously it was
and
very
you had
new.
that live before then. You had your live like, I don't know, 2 or 3 days before that or something.
I could look real quick, but
So then Cold Storage changed their channel name and turned it into
Bodies in the Freezers or something?
Yeah, Bodies in the Freezer. And this happened to be at the same time that Farmers takes a call from 10, and 10 says that KL said, oh yeah, KL thinks that there were 20 bodies brought down from Oregon, and in the freezer, bodies in the freezer. I mean, the timing of these things, it's really, really bad with the timing. I mean, you just give it away.
Right.
You just give it away.
I don't know where the bodies in the freezers are, but
I don't know if it's in there or not, but I mean, and we can put it in the video.
yeah. The video that Truth Bomb's going to do for us, right?
Yes. And then there was another thing too. I just wanted to mention this. I don't know if I have the picture handy. But there, there are other women in this community that, that 10 has gone on the rampage against. And one of them is Michelle Frost, who, I've even had my own issues with Michelle Frost a long, long time ago. When, I had a different viewpoint. I mean, Michelle could probably attest to the fact that, a year ago, I was, completely, well, I've evolved quite a bit in my thought process. Let's just say that. But he full on attacked Michelle Frost and, called her a goddamn troll. And I'm not gonna hide my opinions from people like you anymore. This is when he first came out as 10. And I mean, just raked her over the coals. I believe she did a video about it. She's just one of many who could attest to, the evil side that not everybody sees all the time. And I just wanted to give her some support. Right. Because regardless of the crap she's been through, over the last year of people just completely running over her for her opinions, she still tries to stick it out and share what she really thinks. And
if I'm not mistaken, not interrupt, but if I'm not mistaken, he kind of ran her off YouTube for a while after all that nonsense.
I believe he did. Yeah, I believe that's the case.
Yeah, I know. Michelle and I wouldn't say we had problems, but again, I was where you were at too at that time. And she was always like, our exchanges were pretty always nice, but it was just like, I really don't feel that way, Michelle. I'd be like, and so, but I definitely have a greater appreciation for her now too. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I just looked at my first live stream, which I'm sure that's where that comment and that whole thing evolved from. That was on February 12th. And then
February 12th. Okay, February 24th. Yeah. Okay.
George showed up February 24th. Or it could have been my second live stream, but I thought it was the first. But that second one was February 17th. So... But that's the dates and the timing. I mean, come on. It's a little ridiculous.
Exactly. And then the fact that you've got, the conversation with farmers happening where it's,
right.
Carrie said, or Kale said this, I'll just dox myself there. Carrie, it's all over the internet. Who cares? And by the way, Truth Bomb, if you apologize again, I'm calling those from now on. Quit pulling a Howie. I will not hear that anymore. You got that, Soul Surfer?
He's laughing right now because I told him the same thing today. So he's kind of having a little laugh right now. Let Howie do Howie, okay?
I enjoy Howie. I sometimes want to be like, Howie, what the hell are you doing? And take him by the back of the neck, but I got my love for Howie. So
I've came to love Howie. He can do whatever the hell he wants, Right.
And I think he does just feel so bad when he is like, that he feels like he has to apologize. On the other hand, when I get to a point where I am, because I can let a lot of stuff roll off my shoulders, really.
We know.
A lot. But once I'm there, buddy, watch out. And I'm not gonna be all like, oh, I'm sorry. No, because probably pretty much everything I said, I meant, and it's going to be out there and it's going to stay out there. But that's just me, and everybody's different, and we're okay. And I'd love me some Howie.
Yeah, just don't pull one, or we'll throat punch you.
Oh, yeah, no, I won't.
No, just kidding. I just saw a comment from Marie D about, just to clarify, so is 10 under attack for I need to go back and read this.
Simply because he doesn't agree with certain beliefs.
Okay.
No.
I'm not sure if she's referring to what we're talking about here. But first of all, nobody's under attack for anything here. I'm simply sharing the truth. That's all I'm doing.
Right.
If anybody wants to claim the word attack, and I'm just not one to do that. I think it's complete bullshit. Okay. It'd be me. Okay. But I'm not attacking anyone. I'm sharing information and defending myself. That's what I'm doing.
Right. And
This
I
has
think
nothing
maybe,
to do with beliefs. Okay. This has nothing to do with
right.
beliefs. It has
And I think
everything to
that's
do.
why Marie maybe posed that question.
Yes, I know
So
why
that
she
we do
posed
talk
it.
about that this is not anything to do with what 10:05 p.m. or D. James, nothing to do with what he believes or doesn't believe about what happened in Vegas. That doesn't play a part in it. He can believe what he wants to believe. And, if you listen to him, he's investigated every piece of evidence and he knows everything. So, how can anybody argue with that? Nobody is arguing with that. This is not what that's about. This is about, it's just simply about the manipulation and the bullshit and the playing of games behind the scenes and screwing with people emotionally. Like, I felt so bad for Farmers for Truth. I mean, you could tell that this affected him and Howie and all of us. But my heart, man, when Farmers was on that live, I just felt so bad because who's Farmers out trying to mess with? Nobody. And he thought that this guy cared about him, not only him, but his wife and his family. And then this guy brings him up in a video and saying how he's controlling it. Oh, now he's got his wife doing videos and involving his kid. That's just sick. That is sick and disgusting. So it's totally not about what he believes about the shooting or anything. Not one bit. Not one bit.
Well, I talk to Farmers on a regular basis, and that's one of the best dudes I've ever met in my whole life. He has no technology skills whatsoever. Drive the shit out of a tractor. All right? Me and him are totally different, and we, believe it or not, believe in different things that happened at this event. But we talk to each other 3 to 4 to 5 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I hate on him for his opinion or I hate on this person for their opinion. This is not what this is about. And I made no deal with anyone. I don't know where 10 comes up with that bullshit.
No. And I gave the narrative huggers a little bit of, a little bit of guff, but kind of in a lighthearted way. I mean, and honestly, at one point when all this bullshit was happening a while back, I'm like, at least you know where they stand. Even if you don't agree with them, at least you know where they stand. And there were many people out there that you could see when they're commenting on one person's video, oh yeah, they agree with them. But then they'd go to somebody else's videos that has a different belief, but then, and then they're with them. And so it was all like on the fence, wishy-washy bullshit all the time. So the narrative huggers, I got nothing against you if that's what you believe. Now, will I razz you a little bit? Probably. But I'm not hating on you. I'm not hating on you at all. If that's what you want to believe, that's what you can believe. And Soul Surfer, yes, I believe. Cold Storage, George Burns for sure were a couple of his sock puppets. And there's probably 10 more at least. So
I do want to say too, Marie, I know what you meant. Okay. I'm sure that I have a tone to my voice when I hear that, because I've heard it a lot with some of these, some of these just, die hard, whatever. And, they want to believe that crap about, who he's being attacked for his views, or he's being attacked for his beliefs. And it gets really old. So I'm sorry. I knew what you meant. I know where your mind is and what you think about this. And I know you wanted to make sure that people understood and had clarification. And I appreciate you leaving that comment in there.
Yes.
If people can't understand this by now, though, I'm just telling you, I'm done explaining it to people. If you can't figure it out by now, then you can't figure your way out of a paper bag either.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got no hope. So, move on. Get out of my circle.
Right.
Because that, I'm just not interested in that. So,
and another thing, and again, I was so dumb to the whole sock account thing and so oblivious to all this crap that people could be doing behind the scenes. Honestly, I had no clue. So I would try to answer I'm thinking some of these comments are the dumbest ass, and George Burns is one that sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, are you kidding me? And then finally somebody was like, hey, Jen, George Burns is a sock account. I'm like, what's that? I felt so dumb. So then I started figuring that out. But another thing that happened to me, and I can't prove this by any means, but there were a few accounts that, now that I look back, I believe were sock accounts, and would at a certain point be like, oh, I'm gonna become a Patreon on your Patreon page, and they would link it up and then they would take it back. That happened like 2 or 3 times. And now I understand that. At the time, I was like, that's weird. I just don't know what's going on. And it didn't make any sense, but it made so. And like Ouija said, this George Burns asked for the link to his thing many times, but has never donated. Gee, I wonder why. Because it's a sock account. It's D. James doing his fuckery, it's sick. And the big checks video, I write big checks. Oh my gosh. What a piece of crap. Why don't you send that big check to Ouija? No, he'll never see a dime. I can't go there. I'm going to get really pissed, and that's not good for my blood pressure. So, I think we all know, but yeah. So even the playing around with, signing on to my Patreon page and then declining it and shit like that. I mean, that's just evil and maniacal bullshit. Just, because I think probably the thought process was, well, if I say I'm going to do this, maybe I can get her email address or whatever. And that's before I had it put up on my description. So I don't know. My mind doesn't work like that. But I had to learn about all that crap, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I agree, and I want to say one thing, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'm tired of this cult shit. I really am.
Oh, yes.
I'm done with this cult. I don't have a cult.
No.
I talk to 1 or 2 people in this community every day.
Yeah.
So are we a 3-person cult? I mean, seriously.
You're not doing very well if you're a cult.
I'm terrible at a cult.
I don't think that's your calling, buddy.
It's not. I mean, seriously, guys, let the cult thing die. Even the guys who make jokes about it, let it die. That's seriously, it's stupid. And I wanted to add that in there because. Well,
and there was also for a while, and I haven't really seen it lately, but and I'm just gonna say it, like Secrets Safe with You and CL are basically telling anybody that they can that the Nobody Died group, which I guess you're a part of, TB, I don't know, in their mind, whatever. And if that's fine, but they're like, they're recruiting people. Nobody's recruited me for shit. Like, if I agree with you and I can see the validity of your research, I have a brain in my head. Nobody's just going to recruit me for their team or whatever. I'm like, that is so much bullshit, and it's ridiculous. Nobody's recruiting anybody. People are doing the work. They're putting information out there, and if that speaks to a person and that person's like, wow, I think that makes sense, and vet that information, then I don't see that as being recruiting whatsoever. Nobody's recruiting anybody. Well,
all I ask is that if I show you something, it's your choice to make your own mind up. It's not mine.
Right.
You know? And the problem that I'm having right now is I can't get back to this because of all this stupid shit.
I'm having the same problem, and it really bothers me, and it's been bothering me for quite a while. I can't focus. I can't, because every day this joker's pulling some new shit, and it's almost taken on a life of its own. You know, I mean, this is the sideshow. This is the sideshow for the shit show of Las Vegas.
But I believe, honestly, I believe 100% that that's what he wants.
I do too. And so that's why hopefully after tonight, we can be done with this, and we won't give this, pardon my French, motherfucker what he wants anymore, because he's been eating this shit up for 17 months.
All right.
He made himself, you know, he tried to make himself relevant any way he could.
On my channel next week, next Saturday, the same 4 people, we do Vegas. How about that? Let's just start it off in the right way.
I'm in.
Right.
I'll think about it.
You're not invited. I'm sorry. 3 people: Paladin, Nini, and me.
I can't fault her for that. I mean,
she has so much intelligence about this that no one knows, and it baffles me that we have to do this bullshit.
I know, and I can think about all the stuff I have that nobody knows about, that, you know, and it's not like I'm holding anything back. It is just time, it's focus, it's work. It's a lot of work. So, but I think it's stuff that needs to be done, because it's not over. It's not a dead issue. It's not, we've seen everything we can see. Not by any means. Not by any means. So I am, it could just be me and you next week, TV, but we'll talk Vegas. I'm in.
I'm down 100%.
I want to say really quick to Howie and Farmers for Truth. I, have said tonight that you know, we didn't have a connection. We don't talk to each other. We talked that one time on the phone, and then we've exchanged in comments, and actually I take that back. I think Farmers, you and I talked for, I don't know, like 2 minutes the other day on a quick phone call. And that was just, I think, I don't even remember what we talked about. There was a question or something, but anyway, I do want to say that despite the fact that, as of December, with the information that I've put out there, I really wanted this to just go away. Let's just move on. This happened for a reason. People came forward for a reason. You had your feelings for a reason. And, I think it was meant to play out. I think that everything happens for a reason. And I want to tell you too, in particular, that I really, really admire the fact that you went out there and just said exactly what you felt and exactly what was going on and what you'd experienced and how frustrating it was for you. I could tell especially after Farmers Live. But, you know, there was emotion there where, you know, you guys obviously had a connection with this person that you thought was genuine and real. And the fact that you could see through that and, you know, and have the balls, honestly, to go out there and share it with the community, despite the fact that you guys got some backlash for it, was really, you know, I mean,
It's admirable.
yeah, it is. I mean, it says a lot for your character, and it says a lot for, you know, for caring about the community, because, you know, you didn't have to do that. You guys both could have went about your own way and just cut ties and
Right.
not put yourself on the line, but you did. And, you know, that's the kind of stuff that I see, you know, with that video that was put out today. I mean, the tone, the threat, oh my God. You know, I mean, everybody, every single person in this community, you know, you need to take a stand against that.
Mm-hmm.
And stand up for, you know, stand beside the people that wanted to go out there and warn you and let you know what's going on behind the scenes, because they're concerned and they put themselves on the line, you know, to let you know. And then this asshole goes out there and does a video like you did today. It's got to stop. I mean, take some freaking, you know, stand for something.
There's
And
always
this should be it.
there's always hidden things in his videos. I don't know if 2 videos or 3 videos ago you seen a little thing that went across the windowsill.
That
Oh,
spider
yeah.
webby thing?
No, the only opinion that matters is my own, or something like that. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
what it
yes.
says.
Yes.
And today, his video. Now, I hope he's not that guy, but why did he film this woman? She was very gifted in the area that I'm talking about. But why did he just keep filming her that way? Why? He doesn't. I don't know. I just find it all to be totally strange. And he has like little messages.
Ellen, I know how much you were betrayed. I do. I've paid attention to your comments, and I know how much you believed in him, and I'm sorry that you were hurt by it. I really am. I'm sorry that this all had to come out the way it did, but I'm thankful that it did. And I'm thankful that, you know, that Howie and Farmers did what they did, and that, you know, that I have the information that I have, because, you know, it's scary for me to think. I think I said this to, I'm not sure if it was Truth Bomb or Paladin, but I said, I feel like I have a responsibility, you know, to share this information now, because who knows what he's really capable of, you know. I mean, with the manipulation I've heard about now, and, you know, and the lies, and then the abuse, because, you know, that these people just do one thing that they don't like, that he doesn't like. I'm sorry that you know, believed in him so much, and I understand why you did. A lot of people did. And I'm glad that you're here with us right now, and that you can, you know, you can rely on these people and myself and, you know, Jen and Truth Bomb and Paladin. We're not going anywhere, and we want to make sure that we can get things back on track. So I'm really sorry.
And I agree, Soul Surfer. Look, that's my last apology. If you can't take that, then whatever. And Soul Surfer, you stop doing the same, in my opinion. You're a good dude. Everybody knows you're a good dude. I love you, bro. I stand with you. And that's all I got to say. I don't think I need to go in any of my 10 stuff. I've already said it before.
Okay, I had a request earlier in this live, and you know, again, this was just a joke. That's all. Just a little joke. But Jen, I shared a link in one of our hangouts. I'm not sure. I get so confused with which one's the live and which one's not.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. That video?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have to think about.
I know what you guys are talking about.
I know what she's talking about. I just don't know exactly where it's at. But if you give me a moment, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I'll tell you a
I
little story while you're
Hold
doing
on.
that.
I'm going to mute myself while I look for this. So,
All right.
is Paladin still awake or is he with us?
Yeah, he's typing.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you a little story while you're looking for it.
Okay, go ahead.
I thought to myself to go look for this channel today while we were live.
Oh, yeah.
And he seems to do this while we're live and thinks we're not paying attention. But I called him with a video and I downloaded the video.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Now he's supposedly going to make one about me.
Okay. Not you?
Yeah, me. Nobody makes a video about me. Why? I mean, but otherwise, he made a video today, and then I put in a text message, or not a text message, but a comment. Hey, just because I'm live doesn't mean I'm not watching. And he said, well, then I'll make a video about you. Well, now the channel don't exist, blah, blah, blah. But I called him today, and the things that he's doing to the farmer's wife is like uncalled for. I mean, seriously. Thank God everybody's here.
What was the video today?
I mean, just for some reason he wants to make fun of farmer's wife. And I don't know. I know them to be they're great people. I mean, what else can you say? I don't know. I'm not going to show the video or anything. I do have it downloaded, but
what an insecure little nitwit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and that's where a lot of this comes. I mean, it is insecurity. It's insecurity. I know from experience what makes these people tick, and a big part of it is insecurity. And I think I've said this before, like, I'm sorry if I don't know what he went through as a child or anything like that, but I can probably guarantee that all of us in our life have went through things, and we don't behave in a manner like he has. We just don't. So this is not a hating on anybody. It's just like, you need to be aware of this person, of his tactics, and what he does, so you don't get sucked into some bullshit and wake up one day and be like, what the hell? And because it's easy to get sucked in by these people because they're good at what they do. And he's been around long enough to know what to do. So I did find that video, and I will play it now if you would like me to.
Well, this is a truth seeker request. Okay.
This is just for
now,
you,
listen,
truth seeker.
This was when this channel first brought out their videos, and I, it was just another merry-go-round ride on the, on this freaking side show that we're involved in, and so, but I was observing truth seekers comments, and I had already observed some exchanges that were going on in a Truth and You live. Shout out to Truth and You. Wish you were here.
Yes,
and, I miss my dude.
He, I have no clue who he. I like that dude.
He's a free thinker, man. So
by the way, I was second command, so now I'm first.
And he was hurt by 10 also.
He was. He really was, and
he definitely has some hurt feelings.
Yeah,
definitely.
So anyway, I was having a day, and so I made this for a little comedy relief for myself, and I shared it, and then I thought, what the hell, I'm going to share it with Truth Seeker. Hopefully she'll laugh, or I might not be here tomorrow. I don't know which one it would be, but she liked it, so she wants us to play it, so go ahead.
Okay, here goes. volume.
I stab people, 4 or 5 people every day. I'm trying to see a straight to solve that shit, but there ain't no fucking way. I stabbed this nurse and his fucking cat. Stabbed them all like that. I stabbed people I know. I stabbed Alex, my manager. He was like, what kind of fuck? I stabbed him in the gut. I'll go to the food just to stab the guy when he gets there. I don't care. I stab anybody anyway. I stabbed the mailman. He was pissed. He tried to lace me. I'm too quick with the stab. Come on, chase me. I stabbed him. Timmy damage drops. I stabbed him. Misery stabbed me. Oh, God damn him. I stab old people, old ladies, little kids. I don't give a fuck. I stabbed the fat guy. What? I did Pete Rose. Stabbed him twice in his nipples. But I just stab people. Maybe somebody can help me. Maybe somebody can help me. Maybe somebody can help me. Maybe somebody can help me.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much, Gail. Yeah, you don't want to mess with TS.
No, you don't.
Hell no.
I will exterminate you. Okie dokie. Oh my gosh. I'm glad we played that because I hope the volume was all right. I don't know, but that was good. I like that.
Well, you know, somebody's got to have a little fun around here.
Yeah, and you know that Larry the Clown, well, should we say 10, in that it was a Truth in You, I think, live stream, and somebody asked me, how you doing, Nene? I'm like, I'm tired. Not a minute later, 1 minute later, all of a sudden, Larry the Clown goes on my last video that I had uploaded and says, well, if you're tired, why don't you go to bed?
Oh, yeah.
Like, what in the hell? But I didn't see the whole exchange between Truth Seeker and him, but I was like, oh, that's just creepy. That is creepy. That's creepy Daryl behavior. So, ugh.
Well, it's somebody. It's obviously somebody, you know.
Right.
There's no coincidence that, you know, this guy pops up. And, you know, what I found interesting is that Larry the Clown shows up in Truth in You chat. And next thing you know, Truth in You chat is down.
Down. Yes. Yep. And I was like, oh my gosh, Truth in You, there's no live chat. I wonder if is he okay? I was worried about him. Seriously, because I'm like, okay, probably about that time I need to be checking this out.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. And you're like, oh, wait, where is he? And I was like, I hope he's okay. I was concerned. And then I did find out that his lives were suspended or something. I don't know. I still don't understand how all that works. Shit, tomorrow my channel might be down. I don't know. But guess what? It's worth it to me.
I don't know. I thought 182 SC got him. I was like, shit.
Sheep party at Hooters. Sheep party at Hooters.
Where are the monkeys?
Where are all the cowboy hats? This is a country concert. Man, I love that guy. Love that guy.
I know. I miss him.
Gosh. And that was just, well, before it was invaded, that was a nice place to go where everybody, no matter if they agreed, disagreed, everybody was chill. And it was just a nice place to go. So.
Yeah. I hope it comes back sometime soon. I hope he can get it back.
Yeah.
And he's got that #2 channel. I don't know what's going on with that, though. So.
I tried to help him get that second channel up, but he said they even blocked him from his IP address, so he can't, no matter what.
You're kidding.
Wow.
Well, thank God he's moving soon.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sheep party at Hooters. Sheep party at Hooters.
Look, the dude never hated on anyone, laughed about everything, and prayed for everybody. I mean,
Yes.
how do you hate on a dude?
No, you can't.
And
You can't.
and he loved to debate.
And you could tell that this whole thing, I mean, his whole thing, it started from feeling hurt by 10, and it just like really hurt him and affected him. And you could tell. And he's like, I'm gonna pray for you, 10. We're all praying for you, you know, but you need to repent. You need to repent.
Oh my God.
Oh gosh.
And then the monkey thing came, and I was like, "Bro, I love you. I'm good."
Yeah. So,
Paladin, you gonna talk sometime today or what?
It is way past his bedtime.
Oh, there he is.
How in the hell am I going to get a word in edgewise? My fingers are worn out from typing. Okay, because it's up in my ear. I do want to say, I wanted to go through the proof thing. That's a bunch of bullshit. You know, him proving that he didn't do this. You know, he's the one that supplies the proof. Well, that's convenient, isn't it? I mean, it's laughable to me. It's laughable. But anyway, and I know you remember this, KL. I got those emails, and I copied and sent them to you, like I do a lot of emails. And you're like, "Oh fuck, here we go again." And I'm like, "No, it can't be." And she's like, "Yeah, it's him. It's him." And you knew this from the beginning. And I'm like, "Okay, well, so I don't know. It was what, a week or so." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, it's him." And it's like, and I told you about the nights that it was frantic. I mean, I couldn't keep up with reading them and sending them to you so you could see them, and then responding, and then sending you my response so you could see it, because I'm not stupid enough to let somebody like this send emails to me without documenting them with someone else. What was going on? And we sat on this for what, 2 months or something. We didn't say anything to anybody. I mean, you know, maybe privately, okay, well, you know, he's at it again, active soul. I mean, it's kind of like you feel sorry for the guy. So we didn't say anything. And then Howie brought it out and talked about justice for who, and then it was out in the open, and then he starts attacking people, and it's like, you just can't let that go. So anyway, that's what I want to say. And I do want to second or third the kudos to Farmer and his wife and Howie for doing what needed to be done. And we knew about it. It just wasn't at the top of our priority list. Far from it, really, until sort of the shit hit the fan. And then this last stuff, we just had to say something. So anyway, and you're right, KL. I mean, if people don't get it by now, they never will. And that's okay. You know, it's like, it's right there in front of you. And it's so funny how all this stopped the minute that Howie brought all this out. The emails from Tropical Blue, all the nonsense basically stopped from that standpoint. The sock accounts are still out there, and we all know who it is. I mean, who else is it, guys? If it's not him, who is it?
Right.
You know, nobody can come up with an alternative, because we all know how he is. And, you know, these phone calls, I think, was a Truth Bomb. You said he called you like 30 times in a row. And I've heard that from other people like Howie. And you know, that's the way the emails were coming. I mean, they were coming. It was like he was frantic to get these emails, and you know, I would respond, and then he would start another email chain. And I mean, it was just, it was unbelievable. It was tiring, and I had a good time with it. I mean, I messed with him. I gave him bullshit. I said all kinds of things, and you know, he's in there dissing everybody in this community. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I didn't say that before, but I should say that now. He was dissing everybody, and I mean everybody. The only two he wasn't was me and KL. He even had some silly hashtag that was like, you know, we are with Paladin, or, you know, I mean, you know, I mean, it was Oh God. And he wanted me to get work for him. He wanted me to do things for him. He wanted me, and it's just like, anyway, it was like a hobby to even deal with him. And then it becomes an issue, and he goes on the attack. So we had to say something. So anyway, but there's no proof. He can't provide proof. But anyway, that's it, guys. We just need to start these a little earlier.
Yeah.
No kidding, right?
Yeah.
Well, now, see, I purposely did this because I was informed last night that 11:30 my time would be, these late ones are too late for 10 to be. Oh, okay. That reminds me. This is something that I wanted to address because NServe and 10 even talks about this, and I don't know if it was the extortion video. I think so. Oh, NServe invited me to be on. So last night, NServe was talking. Yeah, I invited 10 to be on live. NServe was acting like he hoped it would be last night. But now here's 10's response. No, I'm not going to be on a live. I want you to do an interview and then just put the video up, And I'm thinking, dude, you should be grateful anybody wants to have your ass on their live at this point. He was trying to give him a platform for whatever reason. But there again, the attitude of, no, I'm going to be in control. I want to do it this way. I was just like, oh my gosh, classic. It's classic. So NServe's like, screw you. And then in the chat, Secret Safe with You is like, well, it's just too late for him. Again, like he's a frail old man. We all know that he is not the frail old man that he portrayed. So I'm like, so yeah, I thought, well, I'll make mine late so 10 won't be here because it's too late for him. He'll be in bed. That's bullshit. But I hear you, Paladin. We can go a little bit earlier next time because 10's going to be here, whether it's 7 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. He'll be here. If he thinks it's anything to do with him, he's here somewhere.
Oh yeah, count on it. If it was 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd be here. So, and anyway, where is this? There was I just want to say, there's this person
Right.
supposedly who is justice for who. There was actually a person. Now, I'm not talking about the sock accounts that make comments in the videos, but supposedly there's this justice for her who person, and of course, Active Soul and Tropical Blue basically indicated that they were not 10, that they were a separate person. Well, so my question is, what has happened to this separate person? You would think if 10 was the only one that they would talk to on the phone, they were close to 10, and at this point in his time of need, they would come forward and reveal themselves and say, hey, I'm justice for who? There really is another person here. But no, they've vanished into thin air. So what does that tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
I mean, that person is gone, and I tried to, I wanted to blow it open, so I said, well, let's talk on the phone. No, he wouldn't do that, and I'm sure other people maybe did too. Well, but he decided he's going to talk to 10 on the phone. 10 is the lucky one that gets to talk to this guy on the phone. So you would think that this guy, at this point in time, they were so close, he would come to 10's rescue and say, oh no, here I am. But no, we haven't seen him because he doesn't exist. That's why. And that's all I got to say on that.
The only one. In the whole damn community, the only one. I mean, I know we talk to each other a lot, but the only person he talked to on the phone was 10. Yeah, don't seem strange at all.
He was the
Crazy.
only one who saw the Reddit link or the Reddit thread too. And I mean, I think we've all been on Reddit. I looked up everything there possibly could be about Vegas. I never saw justice for who out there, but Jen, do you want to put Ouija's link? Do you have his link for?
I probably do somewhere, but well, TS can I rent you and you've got it? I know that you've got it available. Will that work?
That'd be good. Ouija's going through some hard times and needs some testing and surgery, and has some trouble with his insurance coverage. So anybody who feels like they can help him out, it would sure be appreciated. He's done a lot of research for the community, so and we won't hold it against you that you worked with 10 closely. Just a joke. Laugh. Now the time to laugh.
Okay, Truth Seeker. If you could, okay, it looks like Mo linked the
There you go.
GoFundMe, but I know there's also a PayPal
Yeah, I think, yeah.
link.
I don't have that. It's on, if we can't find it here or Truth Seeker can't post it, then we can post it in the comments because
Yeah, I'll post it in the description also.
Yeah. My phone where the link is not linked to, I can't do both because I'm working on 3 different devices here.
Mo has put in both the PayPal and
Thank you,
GoFundMe.
Mo.
There we go. There we go.
Thank you.
Unsuccessful bank robber. I hear you, Ouija. How many banks did you rob, bro?
So, yeah, I would just really, really like to move on from all this and get back to doing what I was doing. And I know not everybody agrees with me, and I don't agree with, everybody either on some things. But if we can just be respectful, if you know that person is putting in the work and they're trying to get information out about Vegas, that's what we're here for. We're not here for all this other bullshit, playing games, all this shit. Let's just end it. And I'm sure the asshat's going to make another video. I'm sure he will, but I'm going to try my hardest to ignore it. And I think that's what we all need to do, because we just feed into him. We just feed into him, and we have spent enough goddamn time on him. This is all he's getting from me. So I hope the rest of you feel the same.
I personally do. I'm done with this dude.
Yes,
That's
man. Let's get back to Vegas go ahead, TB. I'm sorry.
I challenge all 3 of you, and even Farmer said he would come on. Let's do a live next week on my channel, and we do it about Vegas. And I challenge all the creators that do Vegas material, do a video this week. Let's just get back to it.
Yes. Because I know in the last few weeks, literally, there has been very little to nothing being put out about Vegas. Even, I said Brian Shields, when he started making videos on AOC, and I'm like, where's the Vegas stuff? Because I could kind of always count on Brian, and I really started kind of freaking out. Like, I saw the totality of what was happening here, that literally the whole thing has been in essence shut down, and all we're freaking talking about is this douche canoe 10:05 p.m. It's not right. It's not right at all. And I honestly, in the past few weeks, have seriously thought about just saying F it and walking away. And that's not me. I don't quit. I don't give up. And sometimes that's a strength. Sometimes it's a weakness, because I can stick around in a bad situation for way too long just because I don't give up on shit type of person. But then I think, okay, when I look at literally 10 binders full of stuff that I have, and how's that going to make me feel knowing I've done all that, I haven't gotten everything out that I wanted to, and I walk away, I'm not going to feel very good about myself. So I have to figure out a way to wade through all this bullshit and get back to what I need to be doing. And this is a crucial piece in it, just getting everything out there in the air for everybody to know, for everybody to see, for everybody to make their own have some reference to the opinions that they've held in the past, and maybe be like, well, okay, so maybe that wasn't right. Maybe I was under the wrong impression. So hopefully that's what we've done tonight. And there's more. I mean, I think we've presented a lot, but there's still more. I would hope nobody feels the need to see more, but it's there. It's there for sure. So, I know that I'm getting kind of like, my head's feeling kind of like, heavy, but so I guess we probably should be wrapping this up. I want to say thank you for everybody that's been here tonight. I appreciate it. To Paladin, to KL, to Truth Bomb, thank you so much. I'm so grateful and honored that you would come on my channel to do this. I think it's pretty awesome. Makes me feel pretty good. And hopefully we put out some information that you can use and that you can make a decision on, and we can just get back to what we need to be doing. So last words, KL, Paladin, Truth Bomb.
Jen, I just want to thank you very much for, giving this opportunity to me, to be able to purge this information, get it out there, defend myself, and I definitely want to get back to why I came here in the first place. I don't want any part of this anymore. So, hopefully that will be the case, and nothing else will occur. This is out in the public arena now for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing behind the scenes. The video will come out with all the messages and the information. You guys can go through and read it for yourselves. And yes, I'm done. I'm done with the monkey shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take part in it anymore. Not that I ever really took part in it in the first place, but I just don't think that that I'm not going to be a target anymore. So, I appreciate you giving us this opportunity, and I look forward to next Saturday.
Well, as usual, you presented everything in a straightforward manner. I don't think that anybody that was listening tonight could think anything else. It's straightforward, no bullshit, no playing games, no hidden meanings. It is what it is, and we presented it. And I just have so much respect for you, KL, and Truth Bomb, and Paladin. I have a lot of respect for all of you. None of us want to be playing games and hurting anybody and targeting anybody or attacking anybody. But when it needs to be done, we all are willing to stand up for what's right. And that's what this is. It's just taking a stand. It's taking a stand and standing up for what's right in this whole matter right now, where we stand. So, TB, any last words?
I would just like to say thank you for having me, and I didn't say a whole lot, got a little bit upset, but it happens. I agree. Let's just do this on Vegas and ignore this dumbass. In my opinion, I mean, there's only so many things you're gonna say to me, and then I get a little upset, but it happens. Thank you, KL, for showing the proof. I would like to say thank you to Farmers and Howie. They've done their own thing. If you do want the proof from Farmers, he will show it to you. It wasn't put out on a live stream like this. He doesn't have that capability, but he does have the proof. He read it straight from a phone. I mean, other than that, just thank all of you and Paladin. Waiting on that video, bro.
Yeah, Paladin, you're up, bud. Oh, maybe
Am I unmuted? Yeah, sure I am. Yeah, I want to thank my co-stars here, KL and Truth Bomb and Nini. Truth, you did a video on this too, so I think we know where you stand regarding his tirade about us being from Mars or some planet that wasn't Earth or whatever it was. So I think you've done your thing anyway before this. Thanks to Farmers again, and thanks to Howie for sort of getting this thing rolling. And it took guts to do what you do. It always takes guts to be the first one out of the chute with something like that. And it's a rough thing, and but we all work through it, and we come out the other side, and I think we're better and stronger for it. So I just want to thank everybody that's been involved with this. And good night.
I agree, Paladin. Thank you. And yes, I do really thank Farmers and Howie, because they're the ones that really got the ball rolling on all this, and it took a lot of guts, and I have huge mad respect for that, for sure. So all right, guys, well, look for us, at least me and TB, and whoever else wants to join the TB invites next weekend. And guess what, we're going to be doing some Vegas stuff. It's not going to be about anything but Vegas. So
Hey, Nene.
Yes,
I'd like to thank the 100 people that stuck with us for this marathon of a live.
I know, they're pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. Yes, thank you all. I'm amazed. I appreciate it. I really do. So, all right, I think we're gonna end with that. And Ouija, I'll put those links up there for you. Hang in there and take care. There is such a great group of people here that we just can't let this be destroyed by one person or two people or whoever. But we know the biggest part of who was playing the games and trying to divide everybody. So with that information out there, it's going to be a lot tougher for that individual to do anything to any one of us again. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it, you guys, so much. I don't even have words. I really don't. I don't have the words to say how much I appreciate everybody being here tonight and being respectful and all that good stuff. So until next weekend, and I am going to try my hardest. I'm not going to promise, but I will try to put some Vegas related, at least one video out within this upcoming week. And I would hope that the other creators could maybe try to challenge themselves to do the same, because that's what we need to do. We need to get this ball rolling again. So thanks so much, you guys. And I'm going to try to end this now. I'll leave it up for a minute so you can chat.